All right, cool. We are now recording. Welcome everybody for the Blender modeling and texturing one class. So what I would love for you guys to do is this. If we can start with Tyler, would you introduce yourself and share with everybody your experience in 3D or digital art in general?
So I'm Tyler Verdine. I'm not so much an artist. I do this more as a hobby. When the lockdowns and restrictions happened, I started to venture into other hobbies that I did back in high school. And so I worked a little bit with Lightwave and a few other things like that in the past, but I'm basically starting from square one. I'm interested in making shapes that I could then use for 3D printing.
Yeah, now just to warn everybody, we have a few light wave artists here. Actually, seasoned veteran light wave artists who are making the jump over to Blender as well. So, how about Jen? You want to introduce yourself?
Yep, the other seasoned lightwave artist had to step outside for a moment, but for my part, well, long story short, I used lightwave professionally for 15 years, and then I did a hop, skip, and a jump over to a stint in the tech industry for almost 2 years. Then I got back into visual effects as a real flow artist because that was something I picked up. I've been doing real flow for a while, so I did water simulations. But then in 2015, since 2015, my main bread and butter. Anyone here familiar with the concept of pipeline?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. For those who don't know, pipeline is if you have two packages and you really like what they do, but you need to be able to exchange information between the packages. So if you are using ZBrush for modeling and you're using Maya for animation, how can you make it easier to get data out of ZBrush and into Maya and vice versa? So that's what I've been doing since 2015 professionally. I've worked in pipeline, but I really Blender's. I don't know if anyone's noticed how much money has been poured into Blender recently. Yeah. From Intel, Epic, Adobe,
Microsoft.
NVIDIA. Yes, and Microsoft.
Right.
And I'll put you this way: I'm here because 5 years from now, I want to have 5 years of experience with Blender. If that makes any sense. So that's why I'm here.
Good.
And I really look forward to this class.
Okay, fantastic. And what's interesting too is a lot of Maya artists are jumping over to Blender now. Blender, if there are any Maya artists here, Blender acts like Maya, but better, a lot more flexible. Okay, so Tom, you're next.
Okay, I never got deep into 3D. I started with the very beginner stuff like Bryce and Ray Dream Designer. When working in films, I was a texture artist, so I used electric image, which is not a modeler, it's a renderer, but it let me take the models from the modelers. I make the textures. I have played a bit with Cinema 4D, but I skip a version and they make you pay the full price again. I've done that 3 times and I said, I'm done. I am done with Cinema 4D. And I played a bit with ZBrush.
Okay. All right, fantastic. And also, Tom is also a 30-year veteran artist for Mad Magazine. So he's got a reputation. Why, Vaughn?
You should let me go like first or something, because there's no way I can match that guy.
Well, Yvonne is a programmer working with Sony.
Oh, PlayStation. Remember?
PlayStation. I'm sorry.
Yeah, now that they all got together, we can say I work for PlayStation. Yeah, and so everybody thinks, oh, what can I get free? I don't even get anything free. I work in the IT department on, a couple of things, SharePoint and like 5 to 6 other apps. They took me kind of off of SharePoint, so I'm mostly on the Google app and what is that? There's 5 other ones, but I don't get to do any of the fun art stuff there. All my art stuff is at home. I do a lot of pastels. I am a pastel artist. I've shown a couple places. I sold one piece, but I missed it so much I bought it back. I was into Photoshop for a while when I had time for it, and times were better. Unfortunately, as times got worse, I had to do something behind. So I really missed my Photoshop and stuff. And I tried 3D. I liked it. I did not have the time necessary to learn the tool. Steve hasn't given up on me, so I'll be in the background trying to not let anyone see that I can't do what he's asking me to do. But anyways, thank you, Steve.
You're welcome. So you like basically that student in the back of the class I have to keep my eye on.
Hey, I don't want anyone to see I'm not following this 3D stuff for some reason. I don't know.
All right. So, Rena, you're next.
Oh, great. Hey, everybody. Rena Walsinger. I am an audio professor, but my full-time job is I'm the Global Customer Success Director for Eon Reality. So I'm in 3D all day. My job is to teach teachers in over 100 countries how to use 3D in their lessons. And also I'm looking for some Comic-Con panelists for that 3D and animation type of stuff.
Me.
So the director wants us in there. Anyways, good. We'll talk about that, Stephen.
Okay.
And so what my clients are doing is they'll be having a lab, and then they'll want to bring assets in, and everything's separate. And Sketchfab is our main one. We use TurboSquid, and we ingest everybody else's models. We have partnerships, CD Trader, but I love Sketchfab, and then we kind of combine them in Blender. And so I need to do that for my clients and show them how. And I'm like, I tried to learn it. I've been teaching in Unity for spatial audio, but Blender's brand new for me.
Okay.
But I think I can probably figure it out with Steven here. So, and then you're my man.
Okay. All right. Don't worry.
Everybody.
All right, Dale, you're next. Dale disappeared. Oh, there he is.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. I'm a bum. I'm here because I need to get into Blender. This is just kind of preparing in case ZBrush, because they were recently bought by Maxon, becomes unaffordable.
That's right. That's exactly what I was thinking. It's kind of okay, Blender, time to get more of those brushes upgraded.
Yeah, my interests are 3D printing and just I'll build stuff in 3D to use as reference models for cartooning.
Okay.
So I'm a hobby level user.
Okay. But you did work professionally at one time.
I've helped out a medical illustrator named Ellen Going when she went from. Ellen Going is actually in the old book, Radu Vero's airbrush book. She went from traditional media to Photoshop, and when she wanted to learn 3D, I taught her to use ZBrush, and I've done some 3D models for her for medical illustration. My career was mostly in computer retail. I've been an art supply guy, like working at Flax or working at Computerware or working for Apple. That was my career. And art, because I couldn't make any money on it, was just kind of a hobby, and it still is now that I'm retired.
Okay. All right. Well,
I know Tom and you both know on buttons. So
okay.
I'm going to turn the mic off.
All right. No worries. Okay. We got a lot to learn, and I'm going to try to break all this stuff down as simply as possible. 3D is not easy. It's a whole nother world. I've been a lightwave artist for decades. I was doing classes for New Tech way back in version 5.0 when I first started learning it. And Lightwave is still one of the easier 3D programs to learn, but it has not upgraded its interface to keep up with what's going on today. Maya overtook it. Maya has been the standard. I've been keeping my eye on Blender for quite some time. And I'm starting to realize that Blender was getting more and more powerful and much better in terms of its interface functionality. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you how I like Blender to be set up, but I want you to follow with me. So I want your Blender program to be set up exactly like mine. Then we're gonna get into understanding Blender so that you guys can be an artist with this stuff. I'm gonna try to get rid of the technical hurdles and try to get you to understand it in such a way that you can start thinking and creating a little bit more intuitively with it. And I'm going to be honest up front, Blender is a pain in the ass. Right? It is. It's a pain in the ass. But once you start understanding the foundation of it, you're going to feel like there's nothing you can't do. And it is literally that good. So, and I'm familiar with Maya. I'm familiar with Lightwave. I've done a little bit of Modo, but I just think Blender is it's pretty magical in terms of what it's able to do. And it's tackling every industry. It's tackling the modeling, the texturing. It's tackling the sculpting. It's tackling the node based geometry stuff, the effects, soft body dynamics, clothing. Like I think some of you may be familiar with what's the clothing program? It's Marvelous Designer.
Yeah, that's the design. Yep, that's
right,
the one.
that's design. Well, Blender can do that, right? And its workflow is exactly like Marvelous Designer. That's for a whole nother class. We're not going to do that for this class. This class is going to be an introduction for those who have no experience in Blender and is trying to get their heads wrapped around it. But we're gonna build something together while we're learning. All right. So first, let's kind of get our interface set up. I'm kind of get you used to the interface here. What I love about Blender is that it's pretty much one little interface, which you're going to be modeling and texturing and animating in. Okay, it's a single interface, but there are various rooms. You'll notice that right up here at the top, I've got a layout tab, I've got a modeling tab, and I'm going to come over here and talk about these other ones, the file, edit, render. These are your standard tabs that'll always be there. The file menu, edit menu, render, just like Photoshop and the other programs, they'll always be there. This too, but the layout, these are your rooms. Layout room, which is where you're going to have your animation bar right down in here. We're not going to really talk about animation until next week class, next Sunday. Today, I just want to focus on getting you, understanding the interface and getting some of the what I think is some foundational modeling skill sets. Layout, modeler. So you guys, your modeling room. Well, we're gonna get into this in just a little bit. Our sculpting room for sculpting. Our UV editing room. Our texture paint room. Our shading room for texturing. It's really amazing. I mean, you can do everything here. Your animation room, your rendering room, your compositing room, your geometry mode, and like Jen is also a programmer. Is Shigen? It's your scripting room. So you can do everything in this program. All right. I'm going to go back to the layout here. I'm going to click on the layout room. And I would like you guys to set up your preferences so that a Blender works in the same way. Now, I'm assuming everybody has downloaded 3.0, correct? Okay. All right. So I'm assuming that what you're seeing right now is that, correct? Okay. Yep. All right. So Blender from the get-go gives you something to play with. What I want you to do is to get rid of it. It's kind of a pain in the ass. So the way to get rid of it is to take your cursor and just tap once on it, click once on it to highlight it. You know your object is highlighted because you get this nice little orange glow around it. And then all I want you to do now is hit the delete key on your keyboard to delete it. Okay, so just get to this point.
Let's do it.
In the upper right-hand corner, should we also select our camera and our collection camera and light and delete those too?
Well,
so
no.
That we only have.
Well, okay, we could, but
it might not matter.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter in this presentation. I tell you what, do that. So guys, just watch me here for a second. just so I can get you to wrap your head around here. So I'm gonna undo what I just did and deleted the square. Be aware that all of your 3D assets will show up in a form of layers, like Photoshop layers. That happens up here under collections. So Blender calls them collections. They're just layers where I can put multiple objects in multiple layers, which are again called collections. Okay, right over here. Now you can see your cube there. Here for me, because I set this up, custom set this up for all of my lights. If I turn my eyeball on, we can see a picture of our camera. Let me go ahead and make sure I can yeah, that's it. Of my camera, of my area light, which is right up here in the back. Okay. There's I got a null, which Blender calls an empty. So all of our light wave users here, an empty is a null. It's synonymous. I've got two empties in here for a reason. I'll talk about this a little bit later. Then here's my cube. So you'll see that your geometry is denoted with this green triangular shape on the right hand side. So if I want to delete all of this stuff, I can physically click on the cube here, or physically click on any item on the right hand side up in this collections panel. And I'm going to target the cube. I'm going to hit delete and it's gone. I'm going to target the empty, delete, and it's gone.
Photoshop layers?
It's just like Photoshop layers. Click on the camera, delete key, click on the area light, delete key, done. And I can click on the scene collection here and delete that one. So all I'm going to have is that empty scene collection. So go ahead and get rid of everything on yours so we all are working together. And I'll give you a minute or two to do that.
Besides delete, I'm on my Mac.
Yeah.
Doesn't is there another reason why my delete might not work?
You may have on the Mac normally has 2 delete keys. See if there's another.
Okay.
And Command X should work too.
And X. Okay. Nope.
Mine's not. Mine's stuck.
Commands X not working. Delete's not working.
It's not responding to anything.
Right click on it and see if you get the delete option.
Okay. I have to get a mouse to it then.
No, I do not.
You don't have a right click and delete? Interesting.
Well, I'm right clicking, but it's not. Well, I just have
Here's
to
the thing here.
where it is.
That's right. So just to be, and I should have mentioned this ahead of time, guys. A 3-button mouse is going to be important for 3D in general.
I'll post this in the chat. I
Okay.
found hotkeys for Macs, and it says delete selected objects is X.
X key. Hit the X key by itself. See if that works.
Oh, it went away. That's it. Thank
That's
you.
it.
Let me post
That's
this in
it.
the chat for all of the Mac users, because Steve
Good.
is using Windows and I'm using Windows.
Okay.
But if you're at a Mac,
And thank you, Jen.
That's the X key, brings up a dialog, then it asks delete, then I click yes.
Yes.
Step 1. I'm happy. Thank you.
Okay. Good.
Okay, got it.
I can delete. Yay. All right, here we go. Let's go have some fun. All right, now there's preferences I want you guys to work with. In fact, I brought up my little Word doc here, so I didn't forget to tell you guys anything. The way you access your preferences in Blender is under the Edit menu, Preferences, just like in Photoshop, guys. Edit menu, Preferences. Same location in Photoshop. I'm going to click Preferences. This little dialog box is going to come up. Get to that point. All right, and we're going to go down the list here, and I want you to set up your interface to work in a certain manner. Let's see, what have I got here? I'm going to kind of go down my list here. I'm going to go to my interface. We are going to keep that navigational controls. I'm going to make sure I'm going to double check this one. Yeah, all this is going to stay default. Okay. Themes is where you can actually go in and customize your interface. We're not going to do that. I'll attack that at another later date. My viewport here, we're going to also keep everything here default. Okay, going to leave it along default. Lights, we're going to leave it default. And the same thing with editing, I'm going to leave at default. Let's see. Let's just jump down past animation and past add-on, and let's go to input. This is important. It's important you have a 3-button mouse. And under the input, I want you to emulate a 3-button mouse. Now, what this is going to do is it's going to make the navigational features, or the navigational, the navigational features to become exactly like that in Lightwave. So however you're used to moving and navigating in Lightwave, this is going to make it happen. So since half the people here are Lightwave users, and that's the way I'm working, make sure you target emulate 3-button mouse. Then let's move on. Next, click your navigation tab over on the left-hand side here. And under navigation, I want you to make sure that by default, orbit around selection is unchecked. Make sure it's checked. And what that does is whatever you have selected inside of Blender, that's going to be your center of navigation, your center of rotation. So it makes it a lot more intuitive. Okay. Next, another thing I want you to target is go down to key map here. I'm going to click on that one next. And I would like you to, let's see, I want right down here in the bottom, you'll see right below these thick tabs here, or these buttons, you'll see something called tab for pie menu. By default, it's turned off. Click it to turn it on. Tab menu. All right. Now, the next thing I want you to do is go to System, and right up here at the top, you want Blender to recognize your graphics card. Now, I'm using, almost the latest, greatest version of the Alienware desktop computer. When I click on CUDA, immediately it recognizes my graphics card and my processor. Make sure both of those are checked. So whatever it sees on your system, make sure they are checked.
Okay, I don't have that on mine.
Okay, well then don't worry about it.
Yeah, that's just PC stuff.
Yeah, it's PC. Yeah, it's PC stuff. Yeah. Because Mac is.
You might try the one at the rightmost. That's for AMD cards, and if your Mac has an AMD card in it.
No,
mine does not.
Right.
But if not, don't worry about it. What this does. Pardon me, Steve.
Yeah,
what this does is
Radio Pro.
by the way, Steve, that's a pretty awesome, freaking awesome GeForce card.
Yeah. It is.
Oh yeah. What this does is, people are familiar with GPU acceleration. I think Photoshop is increasingly offering that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a way it just makes certain things faster and more interactive. Because a GPU can crunch through certain calculations faster than your CPU.
That's right, and Blender supports GPU rendering, where Lightwave does not. Okay. It sounds like there's a creature in the background somewhere. So okay. Next, undo steps here. I like to take mine higher. I take mine to 100, and I'll just be done with it. And then that's it. That's not worry about anything else right now. Once it's set up, I'm going to click off the box. Once it's set up, I want to make sure that all of those preferences are going to be applied every single time I open Blender. Okay. In order for that to happen, you have to go to your File menu, Defaults at the very bottom, right above the Quit. Click on Save Startup File, and then click on Save Startup File again, and that saves it. Now, none of that's going to become functional until you reboot Blender, but I don't want you to reboot it just yet, because there's something else I want you to do. We want to bring in a camera. Okay? So, to access any of your 3D components, there's a shortcut in Blender. That shortcut is Shift A. When you hit Shift A, you get this menu that comes up. And you want to pay attention to the left-hand side here, the first menu that says Add. You have your meshes, which is all of your primitives, your primitive geometry, your curves, your surfaces. I want you guys to bring in the camera. Okay? You come right down here closer to the bottom center, and just click once for camera. And you see your camera come in there. Okay? So once your camera is in here, I'm gonna to rotate around your interface. By the way, everybody, hold your Alt key and left click and rotate. That'll rotate around your interface no matter, and you can see everything that's going inside. If you want to zoom in and out, Command or Control, Alt or Option held down together, left click and drag up and down allows you to zoom in and out. Just like in Lightwave. So if you guys are Lightwave users, all this should be piece of cake. If I want to pan, it's your Shift and Alt or Option held down together and pan X and Y axis. Exactly like in Lightwave. So now I can move in and out. Alt or Option and Control or Command held down together zooms in and out. Then go to Shift and Alt or Option held down together, pan. And then Alt by itself and left click and rotate.
What was zoom again for the hotkey?
Command or Control or I should say for you for Control and Alt together, and left click and move up and down.
Okay.
Just like in Lightwave.
That, I must have missed a setting on my, because like I can get that with Control middle click, but
oh, do you got middle click activated in here? You must have done that under your preferences. Under your preferences, it should be a left click. It should have been left click by default, by the way. That's why I didn't mention it. Edit menu preferences. Let's see. Is it navigation? Should be here. You want to no? Maybe it's not in navigation. Maybe it's under orbit around is there. Interface. Let's see. Maybe they've got it somewhere else. Themes, viewport.
but Zoom is working for everyone else, right? But it's something on my end.
Yeah, you've got by default, but you have 3.0 Blender, right?
Yes.
It should have been defaulted to a left click.
Oh yeah, it's left. It's left click.
It is left click.
So it's supposed to be Control Alt right click Control Alt left click. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Now it's working. Control Alt left click.
Okay,
Zoom
good.
is working just fine.
All right. Okay. Sounds good. All right.
Thank you.
You're most welcome.
This is why I'm taking a class.
Okay. All right. So here, this is what's interesting, guys. Now what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to bring in a box for you, just so you can view that box through a camera. So to do so, Shift A again, because we're going to access our 3D components. Go to Mesh, hit it, and then tag Cube, and do this. Okay, just get it in there. Don't worry about how big it is. And then everybody tell me that they're okay, that they've got it.
Yep, and my camera is now hidden by that cube.
And that's okay.
Yep.
I'll show you how to deal with that. Okay, so now take note. Look at your layers in the top right hand corner, which are called collections. You now have a camera, and you now have a cube, and the camera is now hidden inside that cube, so you can't see it. Well, we can modify the interface to an X-ray view so that you can see through everything. And the way to do that is in the top right-hand corner, you will see these little buttons up here are your viewing options. By default, that middle one should be targeted with the white circle inside the blue color, or the blue rectangle. If you take it from that white dot there, you go 2 steps over, you click this one, that's your X-ray view. Now you can see inside your cube.
Please repeat how I get the cube. I was still trying to figure out my zoom control.
Okay, so
Shift A
Shift
to bring
A.
up a menu.
So
Shift A.
right, if you want to watch me first,
Got it.
you got it. Okay, then
Yeah,
under mesh,
Plain cube.
there you go. All right, cool. All right, so guys, watch me before you. I don't want you to do anything yet. Just watch me first. That means you too, Tom.
Yes, I am
Okay.
watching.
Okay, good. Watch me. So I'm going to click on the camera right over here. Now take a look over to the left-hand side of my navigational tools. I have my move tool, and you can see the X, Y, and Z points here. So if I click on any of these points, it'll restrict it. And you can see the red line. It'll restrict it just to those axes. Okay. I have my rotation, where obviously you can see if I grab on any of these axes, I can, rotate them on X, Y, or Z. I can restrict them to those axes. I have the scale tool, right, where I can scale the object bigger or smaller. What I want you guys to do is I want you to target the transform tool right below the scale tool. What that does, it allows you to move and rotate all in one tool. Okay, and all I want you to do is this is a forward axis because your red line, your X is going right to left, and your green is going in and out. That is your Y axis. Now in Maya and in Lightwave, your Z axis is going in and out. But in Blender, your Z axis is going up and down. That's the differences between Blender and most 3D programs. X is accurate. X is going from left to right. This is your red. See your red, green, and blue, X, Y, Z, color coordination. So you see your X axis, but your green axis, instead of going up and down like in most 3D programs, it's going in and out. Your Z axis is going to be the blue coming straight, going up and down. The reason why Blender does that is to conform to like CNC and actual 3D printers. 3D printers, CNC machines, all of their Z axes are going up and down. Y axis is going in and out. So Blender is adapting its interface for the real world 3D production machines. Does that make sense? Okay. All right.
Yeah. Although my transform is in world coordinates right now, and yours appear to be in local.
I'm in well, we'll talk about that in a minute. I promise. We'll talk about that. The local and world coordinates. Right now, I'm still want to kind of get the interface thing going. The reason I had you do this is that I want you to be able to view through the camera. All right. Now I'm going to take the camera. I'm going to rotate it, kind of get it to align itself to the Y-axis, and I'm clicking on the little arrows and pulling it back out. Okay, let me see, where did it go? There it is. I'm pulling it back out, and I want to view through this camera. To view through the camera, it's simple. On the numeric side of your keyboard, the shortcut is 0. Now we're viewing through the camera. So what I'd like you to do is pull the camera back using your transform tool, and then hit 0 on your numeric side to view through the camera. And I'm going to pause the recording. Now, if you do not have a numeric keyboard, there's something you can do in preferences that will get your that will make your numeric keys act like the numerics on numeric side of the keyboard.
Oh, okay.
So if you go to edit menu and you go to your preferences, I'm going to have to go by memory here. Is it interface or is it navigation? Or is it input? Input. There it is. Emulate numpad at the very top.
Got it. Thank you.
So if you're on the road and you got one of those small little truncated keyboards and doesn't have a numeric side, that's how you handle that situation.
Excellent.
If your keyboard is a full keyboard, leave it unchecked.
Someday I'll buy a non-Mac. I'm not going to spend $110 just to get a numeric pad.
You don't need $110. You can spend like $30-$40 to get a good full keyboard.
That's what I'm saying. Buy a non-Mac one.
Okay.
So Stephen, I had moved rooms in order to hook up to my 3-button mouse and all that. So I have to add the cube again. So
Okay, sure. So Shift A.
Okay.
And then go to your mesh. So Shift A, go to your mesh cube.
Okay, got it.
And
And
then
then it doesn't. It ends up being in the same level as the scene collection. Yours is indented. Does it?
you have camera and cube, right?
Yeah, I got camera light, and then I've got another row to the left cube. And then I think it's in a different level. It's in the same level as collection.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. And then I can do the.
You move your camera back, and you can go to your. I'm gonna get out of the camera view. Just use your navigational and your transform button here to select the camera, move it back and out, so you're looking through the camera at the cube.
Okay. Oh, I see.
All right.
Okay, there.
So all I'm asking you to do is give it some space so you can see the cube through the camera. That's it.
You're showing us how to artistically place the camera.
Right.
Could you show us the transform?
All right. Right over on the left
of the-
on the left-hand side. Now here's a little trick here. On the left-hand side, here are your navigational tools. Click the transform, which is the one on the bottom below. It's the bottommost transform tool below your move and your rotate and your scale. Okay. Once it's selected, your transform symbol is going to reflect unless, and I've done this a million times, you hit space bar, and space bar means play the timeline. And when your timeline is playing, your navigational things go away. So you wonder, what the hell's going on? I've got it selected. Hit your space bar, stop it, and it comes back.
I was wondering if you could, in the scene collection, if you could select the camera and not the camera.001 so that we could look at the transform section of the camera just to see what numbers.
Yeah, I think it sounds like you have more than one camera in there.
Oh, no. If you uncollapse your camera.
Oh, yeah, here.
One is for the lens.
Right.
And the other one is for the position.
Right.
And I was just thinking you could let us, I was saying if you select the camera at the top,
Right.
you could let us cheat and numerically enter.
Well, yeah. Well, no. We'll talk about that in a little bit.
Okay.
You're getting ahead of me, Jen.
My camera's correct.
Yeah,
but
your
I just
camera's
wanted to see if I put it correctly.
I'm going to keep it simple for now. Don't worry. We'll get there. Okay, cool.
Thank you, Steve.
You're welcome. All right, so everybody, is everybody got their scene kind of set up like this?
No.
No? Oh, yes. Okay, got it. I got thumbs up. Okay, cool. Oh, Tyler, you okay, right? Perfect. Okay, next step. Now, I want to see through the camera. The shortcut on the numeric side of your keyboard is 0. Now you're looking through the camera. Okay? I want to rotate using the camera. So I'm going to hold the Alt key, left click, and look what's happening. There's something we need to do to get the camera to behave like that in any other 3D program. Once the camera is selected, which I do you can see I have it selected here, go to your view option right here along this little thin area. It'll say view. And because your camera is targeted, you're going to be viewing the properties for the camera. What you want to do is make sure that under the view lock, because right now the view is unlocked, so I'm not really viewing through the camera, the rotational aspects going on. I want to target this camera to view, check it to lock it.
What brings up this menu?
Okay, on the right over here, just to the left of your scene collections, there's a thin little bar right down here, and you should see a view.
But you might have to collapse that little if
Yeah,
you
I don't have that.
left click collapse it,
Oh,
Steve, so
yeah,
it's hidden.
sure.
It is that only
You've
the
got
itty
it.
bitty arrow.
It's you got to uncollapse. It's a little itty bitty arrow to the left, right in here.
Oh,
Click that arrow, yeah.
okay.
And that's throwing me off too.
Everyone else find the itty bitty arrow?
Yeah.
Finally.
Okay, everybody's good. Go. So hit the view. Come down here, but make sure your camera is targeted. And when you go to view, right over here under view lock, click on the camera to view.
Camera to view.
Okay. Now watch me. When I hold down Alt and rotate, let's see, what's going on? Okay, this is not working properly. What's going on? Huh.
Well, you might not have been looking through the camera when you look through the camera again by hitting the.
Oh,
now you should be
there
fine.
it is. There it is. Okay, got it. All right. That was weird.
Well, like you were in perspective view, you weren't in the camera view.
Ah, got it.
'Cause you could see the big orange arrow at the top. Showing
Yeah,
you kind of
I
looking to the
thought
side of the camera.
I thought I was in camera view. Okay, there we go. Yeah,
it
you're
looked
right.
like camera view, but
Yeah, it is not camera
wasn't
view.
Exact.
So now I can zoom in and out using the same shortcuts I taught you. I can pan over a little bit, rotate over here, and I'm viewing through my camera. And that's how you can artistically kind of like navigate yourself throughout the scene. Zoom in and out. This zooming in and out is basically moving the camera back and forth, in and out, pan it on over, rotate it around, right? Okay. Now, I think I have everything's...
Monitor.
What was that?
So I need a second monitor.
Not really.
It takes about 3 seconds to go between the two, and something's already happened.
Yeah, but maybe because you're on Zoom. Zoom is taking up some of your video card resources.
I guess.
Yeah, so it's happening with me too. It's working slower and a little glitchy because I'm using my graphics cards for Zoom. It won't happen when you're not on Zoom. So just be patient.
Stephen, so I have a M1 card just going really fast. So on the pan, so I just got to make sure it stays on camera. Zooming in and out's working on my mouse, and then panning is...
It's the Shift Alt or Option held down together.
And then can I just do it with my mouse? I have like one of those gamer mouses with every button.
Is it a 3-button mouse?
It's a Logitech. It's got a lot of buttons. But
Okay,
yeah, it's got at least
actually,
three.
hold it up to the camera so I can see it.
Let's see. If I can,
I see you right through the. Okay, turn it around a little bit more.
let me see.
There, yeah, that's fine. All you're using is your right, left, and your middle wheel as your button. Yeah, that's
Okay.
all you need.
So my panning, I can do I still need the alt key?
Yeah,
Or
you
just-
use your wheel. You can use your wheel to pan in and out. Your
Yeah,
wheel
I'm
is
zooming in and out, but then moving the whole thing right and left. You
right.
do-
It's Shift and Alt or Option held down together.
Oh. Shit.
Shift and Option held down. You're on the Mac, right?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I got it. All right, thank you.
You got
Sorry.
it? Cool. No, don't
I'm
worry.
better.
At first, it's a little clumsy, but after about 10, 15 minutes, you'll catch on to it. You won't forget. Okay, so I want to set up a few more things, and then we're going to go on to actually doing some modeling. We're going to get out of camera view by hitting the 0 key again on the numeric side of your keyboard, which now jumps you right back into your layout view. And now I can see everything if I pull back in the scene. See, after a while, it's all going to become intuitive. You'll be able to move quickly and fluidly without even thinking. Right now, you have to think about it. Yeah, right now you'll think about it, but you won't after about an hour or so. All right, now here we go. we're going to just tackle a couple more things in preferences that I want everybody to make sure that we're all set up on the same page. Edit menu, go to preferences, please. In Lightwave, in order to use a lot of our extra add-ons, we have to tell Lightwave to install them. And that's the same thing in Blender. And there's some add-ons that come with Blender, and these add-ons in Blender are phenomenal. There's certain add-ons I want you to use. So you're going to come right over here, dead center, to the add-ons button. Click it. And you get to see all your add-ons in here. Some are unchecked, and some are not, or some are checked. Okay, some are checked and some are not checked. So we're going to go down the list, and I want you guys to have these add-ons installed. The first one is called Extra Objects. So to find them, go to your search little magnifying glass here, click in here, and type in the word EXTR, and then you should see Extra Objects right over here.
Got it.
Make sure those two are checked.
Both, okay.
Okay. The next one I want you to have checked is Image as Plane. So I'm going to just highlight over this and put in Image. And then Image as Planes pop up, and then make sure that is checked.
Okay.
The last one I want you to have is called Bool Tools. BOOL. That's all you need to put in there. Make sure Object Bool Tools is checked. Everybody's got it?
For your add-ons, and I see one of the add-ons that ships with it is the new tool.
Also go in there and check for 3D printing, STL, import STL. I'll show you the rest we don't really need to worry about right now for this class. There's more you need to have, but not for this class. So at this point, we're going to close out this box. All right.
Have to click install.
Nope. Because if it shows up, it means it's already installed, and all you're doing is telling Blender to activate it.
Okay.
All right. So so Kevin's with us too. Kevin Washington's right. They just popped in down there in the bottom. Hi, Kevin. Okay, now here we go. We're all set up. I want Blender. Matter of fact, let's take this camera. I'm gonna hit the 0. This is just me being anal here. I'm gonna move it over to here, and I'm gonna rotate it so it's so it's looking down on my 000 world axis like this. Whenever I open up Blender, I don't want to see this damn cube. Don't want to see it. It's irritating to me because I want to do my own stuff. Hit the 0, get out of it. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click and hit delete and get rid of the cube. So this is the setup I want to have every single time I open Blender. In addition, all these plugins and all these preferences we have set up, I want to make sure those preferences are going to be working every single time I open up in Blender. So to do so, File menu, Defaults, Save Startup File, click on Save Startup File again, and it's set. Now what I want you to do next, now remember the under the View menu we told the camera to lock the camera view? Unless we save those defaults, that camera is going to go back to its default functionality. We just saved them. So what we're going to do now is close out Blender completely, say don't save, and reopen Blender again.
What's the downside of having the not toggling that camera option you mentioned?
What's the downside you said?
Yeah.
Okay, if you don't lock the camera to view, then you're no longer seeing through the camera. The minute you try to rotate, you go outside the camera into perspective view. Why Blender does that, I don't know. It drives every animator crazy.
Oh, what behavior?
Locking the camera to view.
Oh, Houdini is the same way. You have to lock the camera to the view if you want that
Right.
that behavior.
Yep.
And I think the thing about Houdini,
Mm-hmm.
I think the thing about Houdini is and even with Maya, it's similar behavior. I'd have to check to see if Maya even offers the opportunity to lock the camera. You can spawn a camera
Right.
from a view.
Right.
I'm not sure if Maya lets you lock a camera.
Yeah,
to
well,
view.
Maya, when you get into Maya's camera, it's automatically locked to view by default. I mean, you once you're looking through the camera, you're walking in through and navigating through the camera, just like Lightwave. It's like once you look through the camera in Lightwave, you can walk through, navigate through the camera. It doesn't jump outside the camera to perspective view. But that's just a whole nother.
But I think it's because with Lightwave. By the way, where's the safe startup file again?
Oh, under File menu at the very bottom, right above Quit.
Default.
Defaults.
I see. So files. Thank you so much. I'm going to quit Blender's restart. But here's
Right.
my theory.
Right.
And my theory is that with Lightwave is a render engine. It is a render engine. Whereas Houdini, Maya, Blender, render engines sit on top of it, but
Right.
it's not. I'm wondering if that might be part of it.
That might be.
Or maybe it's just Lightwave thought of it before everyone else did.
Yeah. So make sure everybody reboot Blender. Open up Blender again if you close it down. Give it a minute to kind of go through its little menu item system. There we go. There we go. So now if I hit the 0 to go to camera view, it's locked to view. It's behaving exactly the way I want it to work every single time I open up Blender. Okay, so now we can have some fun.
I'm just waiting for Blender to boot up.
Okay, don't worry. I'll give you guys a minute. Let me know when it's all booted up. Okay, so once again, I just brought in a cylinder. If I hit the home key, it'll show everything in my scene. If I select anything and hit the period key, it'll jump to selected. If I go select the camera, hit the period key, right? It'll jump to the camera. Target the cylinder, hit the period key, it jumps to the cylinder. All right. Front view, the number 1 key on the numeric side of your keyboard. Side view, the number 3 key on your numeric keyboard. And if you want the top view, just go to the top of your numeric keyboard. It's the number 7 key. Goes to your top view. So 1, 3, all odd numbers. 1, 3, 7. 1, 3, 7. 1, 3, 7. If I want to go back to perspective view, it's very simple. Hold your Alt key and drag it. Boom. It takes you back there automatically, no matter what view you're in. How you doing, Rena?
Which key goes back?
What was that?
I got everything except for I still have that bounding box for some reason.
The what bounding box?
I have a gray box around my cylinder.
Around your cylinder? A gray box. Why do you have a gray box around your cylinder?
I don't know.
Is
It's like a
is
bounding
that your camera? Hit the 0 key on your numeric side of your keypad pad.
0 key. Yeah, see, that key hasn't worked for me yet. That's part of the problem.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm on. If I hit cylinder 0, nothing, camera. Yeah, the 0 key's not working.
You know,
and I tried on my external keyboard and my.
You know what?
Okay.
Can you share your screen?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, share your screen. Let me see what it looks like.
I'm using 2 screens, so let's see if this works. All right, maybe.
Let's see. Do I need to stop sharing my screen, Rena, for you to share yours? Okay, I'll
Yeah,
I'll
you have to
stop
stop.
sharing mine.
Okay.
All right, and go ahead and share yours.
And then my desktop and Blender. Share.
All right. Let's see what you've got.
Can you? Are you seeing?
Nope.
My Blender.
Not yet. Oh, wait a minute. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. But I'm seeing it on the wrong screen. Can I move this over? Well, no. That's me. For me, I don't think anybody can. Can everybody see her screen?
It might be because I'm using two screens.
I'm not hearing anybody. Can everybody see her screen?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
I'm sure.
Well,
Yes.
sure.
Seeing the screen,
Yes.
yes.
Let me
Yes.
put it on my second.
Okay, Rena, you stopped sharing your screen. Share your screen again.
Okay, hold on. Zoom. Share screen.
Yeah, I was seeing it, Rena. You took it away from me.
Okay.
There it is. We see it. Can everybody else see it? Good. Yes, they can.
Yes.
Okay, now you're in camera view. That's what it is. So we want to get out of camera. So hit your 0 key on your. So you're in the Mac. So hit your 0 key on your numerics above your key.
It doesn't. That's for some reason that doesn't. Do
Okay, go to your edit menu. Go to your preferences. And I believe that's when the preferences come up. We don't see them. Not seeing them yet, but they should be coming up.
Oh, it might not show that window because it's showing when you
Okay.
share it.
All
Just tell
right.
me what it is. Is it navigation?
I think it's under navigation, and it's basically what is it called? Damn it, I'm forgetting what it's called here. I just told you.
Orbit, pan, zoom, fly, and walk.
Hold on a second. I'll tell you exactly what it's called.
Okay. Key map is the next one.
Edit menu, preferences. All right. Is it under navigation or was it under input? Input, emulate numpad at the very top. Input.
I gotta check that. Okay.
Yeah, you got to check that.
Okay.
All right.
That's
Now try it. There you go.
There. Okay.
There
That's
you
it.
go. See, you were inside your camera view. That's why you saw that little gray thing.
Oh. Okay.
All right. Stop sharing your screen,
Okay. Thank you.
and I'm gonna share my screen.
I gotta find my Zoom screen to stop. Hold on. Oh, I see it. It's a little complicated with two. Okay. Thank you.
Cool. All right. And
So just a quick review. 0 is the camera view.
That's
Key 1
right.
is above. 3 is to side, and 7.
That's correct.
Excuse me.
Can you mention a couple of other keys?
Hold on, just a second. For some reason, wow, oh wow, Zoom just crashed on me. No, it isn't. There it is.
We can
I
still
see
see
it.
you.
Gotcha. There it is. It kind of acted really weird on me. There we go. I'm gonna share my screen again. There we go. I'm gonna share mine. I'm gonna answer your question right now. Just a moment. I want to make sure I'm sharing the right screen. That is the right screen, and share. Okay, cool. All right, so let me go back to Blender over here. Where are you? Right there. Okay, cool. All right, so 0 is camera view. Okay. Make sure that's looking good. Number 1 key on the numeric side of your keyboard is your let me get out of camera. Actually, let me get out of 0 is your camera. It toggles between camera view and your perspective view. So hit 0 once. 0 is camera. 0 again takes you out of camera. Number 1 is going to be your front view. Number 3, and you can see right up here. Now, if you don't have your, it should show you right up here in the top left-hand corner. Mine says front orthographic view. If you don't have this, right over here, look right up here in our little viewing options. Dead center, I think it's here. That little drop box there. Go over to statistics. Click that.
Oh. Okay.
All right, good. And that'll pop up. You have that information right there. So it tells you right there. It should show it even without doing that, but I'm not sure. Now, the 1 key is the front view. The number 3 key is the side view. So I got to make sure I have the cylinder targeted. There we go.
Oh, I have an update. Like statistics will show you the number of objects, but it right next to statistics above it, text info will show you the view.
Yes. Well, text.
And you're right. That
Well,
is done to default.
well, text in view is on by default.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, it's statistics that are not on by default.
Correct.
Okay. But I do find statistics to be very handy, so I use them a lot inside of Lightwave. And then number 7 key is the top view. So it's the 137, 137. Tyler, did I answer your question accurately?
And you also mentioned Alt and Home, I think, were the other two you'd mentioned.
Alt and okay. If you want to get out of any of these perspective views, that's correct. Hold the Alt key down or Option and just drag it, and you're right back in perspective view automatically.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, it was just a bunch of numbers and letters. I was
Yeah.
trying to keep up with everything.
Are you actually talking to us through your telephone?
No, microphone headset. It's not the best quality, though.
Oh, okay. All right. You can order from Amazon. They deliver to your door. Oh, now look who's laughing. Like, Tom, you need to order from Amazon too. Get a 3-button mouse.
I think I have it. The scroll is a button.
Okay. All right. So let's go to work, guys. I want a reference. I want an image reference in here that's going to help me out a little bit. Kind of, always make me remember what I need to model and how I need to model it. We're going to use that image as planes option. Okay. So the image as planes work when you're in a perspective view, in an orthographic view. We'll use the front orthographic view. Hit the 1 key on the numeric side to go to the front orthographic view. Now, this is all I'm going to do, and it's going to be pretty fun. I'm going to go, you can use Bridge, or you can use Finder, or you can use Explorer, whatever you want. I'm going to find the image that I want, and I think I want us all to use, I think it was, let me go find it. I think it was that one there, right? Okay, we'll use this one. Let me kind of take a look at another. Okay, I think that was it. Oh, was it that one? It was that one. Okay, we'll use this telephone 001. And all I'm going to do is take this panel and just offset it just a little bit. Click and hold and drag it. Now, the key here is don't put it on the object. Put it outside the object, right about there, and drop it in. Get to that point. I'm going to pause recording. Go back to resume. Okay, very good. All right, so once the image is in, I want to go to not the view, but the item view, which means it's showing you where the item is, the local item in terms of world space. And if I come right over here and say 0 for X, 0 for Y, and Z, and there, it just pops it in space. Get to that point.
How do I see that transform menu that you've got up there?
All right. So you will only see the transform menu if you have the item tab targeted right over here, right in the center.
Okay, I got it. Thank you.
Perfect. You got it. Great. Okay, let's see. I see something in chat here, but I use a Wacom tablet. Okay, to set up in the middle. Yeah, that's fine. So someone's saying they're using a Wacom tablet. They can set the top button on the stylus to be the middle mouse button and so forth. Yeah, you're welcome to do that. Absolutely. Okay, so what we're going to do next is take a bathroom break. 15 minutes. I'm going to pause the recording now. Okay, we're back. Okay, FYI, HDR. Now, we talked about textures.com. There's a site that's even better. Polyhaven, super high resolution. I'm going to go to textures here. And it's all free, commercial and personal use. Okay, all free. And if I select, let's just select one of these. I'll do that one, the broken wall. And right here, download, you can get 1K, 2K, 4K, 8K.
Wow.
Whatever you want. And then come down here and it shows you what you're getting. So if I click on, that's the what's that? The specular map, color map. This is your normal map, or is that the normal map? It's another normal map. Okay, two types of normal, and then that's probably your that's not a grunge map. Well, maybe a grunge map. I guess it can be a grunge map. But they're all right here. You're downloading all of these maps, and you can apply them to your models. We'll talk about that later toward the end of the class. All right, so this is polyhaven.com. I actually put the link in the chat box for you, so you can grab that one. And then Rena put one up here. It's a motion capture called Plask, and which we won't cover in this class, but I think there's something I'll definitely introduce in the following classes coming up.
I mean, I just because before you needed all the cameras. I mean, you can still do it that way, which is probably better, but still, for us people starting out, at least you can use your webcam.
Yeah, I mean, for the motion capture data that I work with clients, they're working with actors that have these full suits on with nodes on every part of the suit, so that all that motion's being captured accurately. So they're not quite using this. This is kind of the poor man's way of doing motion capture. But I assume it's kind of fun. It's a good learning tool anyway.
But if you're making money like us in the metaverse, then this is going to be cool.
Yeah. So okay, cool. So let's go back to Blender. So we brought in an image, and the image is kind of solid back there. We're going to start bringing in 3D models. I'm going to delete this model in here real quick. I can go right up here where it says cylinder and just hit delete key on my keyboard. For the Mac people, you're hitting the X key on your keyboard, as we learned earlier.
Just how did you send it to the origin? What was the shortcut you used?
Okay, well, there was no shortcut. Well, what I did was selected it, hit the item tab on right here, right in this little slender bar right down the middle, hit the item, and then put in 000 manually in location.
Item tab. Okay.
Put in 000 and it just jumps there automatically. It does what you tell it to do.
So which menu you're in? So there's burn,
item,
tool, view, edit, item,
item. The very top, the very first one, item. Make sure that your image is selected. That's important. So mouse over it, make sure it's yellow and it's selected. Then go to the item right over here and then tell it to be at 000.
I can't see that. 1 second. Sorry, I only have the one screen here. All right, so there you are.
All right, item is right up.
Item.
Yeah.
Item at the very top.
That's very top.
Do I? Oh, perfect. There we are.
Cool.
I'm going to need to buy a second monitor.
For that's interesting. Lightwave is set up so that you can put its tools on a second monitor. Blender is not. Blender is designed for you to work within one interface, and it actually works.
Well, I'm thinking for tutorials, so I don't have to jump back and forth.
Yes. For
Zoom here, Blender here.
For online learning, it is now a standard because we all are virtual now because of COVID. It is now standard that you have a second monitor. And just get that from Amazon. Go to Amazon, get yourself a nice 32-inch monitor for a few $100s and plug it into your laptop or your desktop, and you're good to go. You can do that.
Costco, because you can return them when they burn out.
That's true. You know what? I just returned my house shoes I got from Costco that I bought 2 years ago.
Really?
Yeah. They took it back and
We
gave me.
returned a Keurig machine. Stopped working after 5 years.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, I've done 3 monitors already. I think I paid for one. Maybe.
Oh, man. I'm going to learn from you guys. I'm taking everything back.
I just put in the chat what my setup is right now.
Okay, here we go. Let's go play, guys. We got to get this done. Because we got an hour and then we're going to lunch for a 30-minute lunch. All right. So I want to get some of this modeled within the hour. We are under deadline. We got to work. So here we go. We're going to look at this shape and we're going to kind of think about what it is we're trying to do. It's kind of like what primitives are going to best reflect what we're seeing here. And my initial thought is probably a cylinder. Okay, so I've got this long pole here, which I think would probably do well as a cylinder. I'm also anticipating I can probably extend that cylinder out to become this base here. If I get in closer, this top portion of the phone is just a whole separate piece, which is like another cylinder on top of a cylinder on top of a cylinder. Right? So what's going to help us smooth out these edges? I'm thinking subdivision surfaces. But we'll see. I might change my mind. All right, and then coming up to here, we've got another cylinder. All right, that's beveled, a beveled cylinder. And the same thing up in here. We got it here, another cylinder that's beveled. A nice smooth bevel, long smooth bevel, but nevertheless beveled. And then we've got this chord that we have to create. Now, when we create the chord for us Lightwave users, you're going to love Blender because everything in Blender is non-destructive. And we can go back and play and manipulate whenever we want. Save it, close it out, come back, play, manipulate, and it's all non-destructive. Okay, so basically, I'm anticipating that this is basically a cylinder.
It's nice. You could turn it into a smart object.
Well, when we talk about non-destructive, we're talking about a smart object. That if you relate it to Photoshop language, then yes, you're correct. Right, but we don't call them smart objects in Blender. We call them it's just non-destructive workflow. All right, so I want to bring in some 3D objects and start kind of building out these shapes, but I don't want this image to be in the way. All right, so one thing that's going to help me is if I have the image targeted. Because watch me first, and I'm going to let you guys do it. I'm going to turn it a little bit to the side. I want to see through that image plane a little bit, so I want to reduce it. I want to reduce its transparency. Now, if you look up here in my 3D, my scene collector, or my layers, 3D layers, I have the empty targeted. If I want to edit, now notice that the symbol to the left-hand side of the word empty is basically the mountain with the sun, the standard image icon or image avatar. If you come down below in the properties panels right below it, you'll see that same icon second from the bottom right down here. And if I click it, I have properties that's going to relate to my selected empty or the image. I can rename this guy. Say it says empty right now, so I'm gonna double click, and I'm gonna call this one image plane. So go on and do that on yours. Double click it and call it image plane. That's how you rename them. Do that now. Double click on the empty and rename it image plane. And that's the way you rename anything inside of these scene collections. Okay, so when done, come back on down here to the properties for the image. So I'm clicking the tab on the bottom for the image, and then right down here on the bottom under the empty symbol here, the little empty category, come down to the bottom of that panel. It says opacity. Click a check mark next to the opacity, and it goes from 0 to 1. So scroll it down to like 0.5 or 0.4 or something like that. I got 0.36. Do whatever you like. But that brings down this opacity so we can see through it.
Oh.
And I'll pause recording to let you guys get up to speed. So I'm going to explain this again, just for everybody's peace of mind. So we're dealing in we're talking about two different universes here. Your local, not local, but your world universe and quantum universe. If I hit the Shift A once again, mesh cube, bring it on over, 1 to 1 to 1. If I make it bigger with the S key for scale, Now, I'm not left clicking and dragging and just letting it move. That's the way we do it in Blender. And make it bigger. You notice that it's almost 5 to 5 to 5 approximately. Now, if I reset this so that this becomes 1 to 1 to 1 again, Command or Control A, reset all transformations, and notice that your rotation point is set back to the 000 world universe. But look what happens. 1 to 1 to 1 once again. If I get inside this thing, right? If I want that rotation point to be set to my object now, right click, set origin to geometry. That's going to be very helpful. So to get inside here, tab, just like in Maya, tab, object, edit mode. That's going to put me inside the quantum universe. Inside the quantum universe, let's say S key again, make it really big, like really, really big, right? And if I go back out to object mode, it's still 1 to 1 to 1 because we were never in the world universe. We were inside the quantum universe. So just kind of think of it that way. The quantum universe is like a spiritual plane where anything can happen, but outside in the world, the physical universe, it's always 1 to 1 to 1. That'll make sense a little bit later on. Okay, so I'm going to delete this once again, and we're going to get in close to go back in here to our cylinder. So with the cylinder selected, we see it's 1 to 1 to 1. I want to make it slender. I want to start modifying the look and feel of the cylinder. So we do that inside the edit mode or the quantum universe. Tab key, edit mode. Now we're inside. I can see everything is highlighted orange. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to resize it about the size of the handle of the piece. And if it's hard to see, come up here, turn on X-ray view so I can see through it. And then I'm just going to hit the S key and just resize it down to make it almost like the thickness of the handle. So if I go to the 1 key for the front facing view, I can use my transform tool to just kind of push it on over right in there. I got pretty close. All right. If I get in closer, maybe I can modify that a little bit better. Kind of pull it down right about there. That looks good. Okay, get to that point. So, your question is, you've been working in edit mode, but you forgot you scaled it in object mode, and you want to reset that. So if I go to object mode, I got to go to object mode. So tab key, object mode. With it selected, the shortcut is Command or Control A. Reset all transformations.
Okay. Control A. Thank
Right.
you.
And now I'm going to now,
edit mode. How do I get that menu that shows the scale?
okay, you got it. Let me finish one other thought, and then I'm going to answer your question. Keep in mind that once you reset all transformations, Blender will reset the local rotation point to 000 coordinate, world coordinate. So to reset it back to your object, make sure your object is selected, right click under the set origin, which is like number 4th one down, go to origin to geometry, boom, and there you go. Now it's reset to your origin. Now you can anticipate how to modify that. Now to answer Tyler's question, when you're in edit mode, so tab key, go to edit mode, and you want to resize in edit mode. What's your question, right? Scale in edit mode.
So how?
Oops, your voice blanked out there.
So when I'm in object mode, see the scale as I. Can you hear me now?
A little bit
You hear
better. Yeah, a little bit. You kind of cut out a little bit. I can hear you now.
Okay, so when I'm in edit mode, when you're dragging the scale,
Right.
I can't see the size of it changing. on a menu, it would say like it's 4 or 5 times as big as it previously was. I don't see that. I don't see those statistics.
All right. So if I hit Command A to select all under the transform option over here.
Yes.
All right. So if I hit the S, let's see.
Because you're moving, because the scale in this case, it's changing the position of, it's 24 times 2 is 40. It's changing the position of 48 individual points
Right.
in the mesh.
That's right.
And so you're not going to get that kind of information displayed at this time.
Excellent. Thank you, Jen.
Perfect.
See, that's why we have Jen here.
Oh, but in Houdini, there is,
Oh, we don't want to talk
there's
about
a
Houdini.
feature called, yeah, sorry. Back to class.
That's right. Houdini's a whole nother animal. But, okay, so there we go. Now, remember, what helped me was I went to my front view, hit the tab key to kind of line it up. Remember, you got your front, you got your side, you got your top. You can use your orthographic views to help you. So keep that in mind. Okay, now, here's what we're going to do. We got to make this longer, right? Easy way to do it. Hit the 3 key in your keyboard for the poly view and just click anywhere to deselect it. And then just select the top poly. Like that. Right? And then take the top poly and bring it on up to there. All right? So if I go to my number 1 view, the front view, and get in close, and we're going to take it right to there, okay? And we're going to do the same thing for the bottom poly. We're going to go grab this, and now we're going to start using our common sense modeling common sense to start building our objects. So get to this point very quickly.
That's in edit mode?
In edit mode.
Okay.
Because whenever you have, the only way that you're going to have access to your points, edges, and polys is in edit mode. That's the only way.
Okay.
Okay. Recording here. All right. So notice that my gizmo point, if I click on this top polygon, come on, there we go. There we go. Is centered to the actual polygon here that's targeted. Look right up here where it says normal, and I've got global, local, normal. So this is right. This is being organized to the normals. The normals being the direction of the viewing area of my poly. I could go global. You see it switch a little bit. I can go local, which probably shouldn't have much of an effect, or I can go normal, which allows me to extrude along the face of the normals. So in other words, the normals are always perpendicular to the face of your poly. So I've got options up here. So I think if you set yours to normal, you'll be fine.
It's not fixing it.
Interesting. Let's see. What do you have? Hit bounding box here. Right next to the normal on the right-hand side. Is bounding box targeted?
Checking. No, it isn't. It's 3D cursor.
Okay, go to
Okay,
bounding box.
I've changed it to bounding box. It now fixed the issue.
Good. There you go. So what?
Thank you.
These are various different ways to tell Blender to use various different aspects of your geometry as a rotation point.
Got it.
So when you get used to this, you can do it. You can do anything.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. All right, so let's go to the next step, guys. Now let's start. Let's start dealing with this top portion here. I'm gonna hit the number 1 key, and it looks like I want to bevel this outwards a little bit. I'm going to kind of move this up just a little bit to go right about there. So I want this to come out a little bit. And the way this is how this is going to be done. I need to create an extrusion, just like in Lightwave. if I hit the E key on the keyboard, now this is the tricky part. Hit the E key, automatically it shows you an extrusion is being done. So if I start to move it, it's extruding along its normals, which is straight on out. Now, I don't want it to extrude up. I want it to extrude another different direction. So right click will reset it back to the location where it was. All right. The right click releases it, resets it back to the location. And now all you're going to do is this, guys. S key for scale and pull it on out like that. All right. So I'm going to go right about to there and then left click to set it. Hit the 1 key. You can see where I'm approximately there. That's good enough. So get to that point. And if it's not far out enough, I can hit the S key again and just pull it on out like this. See what I'm doing? And left click and reset.
I am still having trouble trying to select the top or bottom of the cylinder. When I click there, it picks one of the lines on the side.
Okay. Now remember, you're not in face mode. Number 3 key in your keyboard is face mode on the top of your text keys.
Okay.
Now you're in face mode. Now you can select the face.
Okay, I'm only seeing front view when I did that.
Right. So then go to perspective view. Alt key and rotate a little bit so you can see the top of your face. Alt to hold down, left click and drag to rotate like what I'm doing right now.
Okay, let me switch back so I can see what you're doing right now.
Let's switch back. So basically, now you have to get used in the 3D world. You got to learn to move around. You can't just sit in one location. You gotta move around, see what's going on, because you don't know what's going on until you see it in three-dimensional views.
Okay.
All right. So with the face selected, now I can. You can hit your E key for extrude, right click to reset it back, then S key to pull it out.
Yeah, I'm still not selecting it. Every time I go to do that, it.
All right. Do me a favor and share your screen. Let me see what you've got. Back to resume. Okay, here we go. Now, it's easy at this point. It's all going to be extrusions. Click on the front face, because if you look at this piece here, let me go to my number 1 view. You know there's a lip, right? Get in close. There's a little bit of a lip here. Now, when modeling in 3D, when you start modeling your object, no detail, no details, no details. Do not start modeling details. You just want the basic, naked, raw shape, period. Right? So you're going to break it down to simple shape. So in other words, I don't want to round this rounded aspect of it. I just want a straight line from here to here. We'll deal about the rounded. We'll deal with the rounded aspects later. So what is the fastest way to make that lip from this point to this point? E key for extrude. Go to there, click, and you're done. Do it now.
What more? There we go.
All right, don't complicate it. Just select the front face, E key extrude, bring it up a little bit, and then left click to stop it. Should take you 10 seconds.
Got it.
Okay. Now we're going to do it again. So I've got this nice curve, and I'm going to put another one right here in the middle. I'm going to extrude it up so that the top point is going to hit right here in the middle. Just watch me at first, and then I'm going to let you guys do it. Select the front face. See how I'm jumping in and out of a perspective view. Make that a habit. That's going to be your habit for the rest of your 3D life. Go to perspective view, grab it, hit the 1 key, back to this view, E key, extrude, go to right about there, and left click to stop it. Now, I want to scale it down, which is what's the shortcut? Tell me the shortcut for scale.
S.
S is in Sam. S for scale, bring it to there just like approximately because it's not totally centered. We'll see. And then be done with it. Okay?
Like this. There it is. Okay.
All right? Be done with it.
Yeah. Zoom in so I can see it. Right about there. Click.
Right. It's not going to be perfect because my image is off a little bit. You know, if the image is off, it's kind of driving you a little crazy. You can always move that image a little bit too, right? So if I go back to tab, object mode, and I go select the image, right? Go back to the front face view, I can move the image if I want to, if I feel I need to. All right, so if I can, you know, I can do this if I want, if I feel I need to. Okay, just be aware of that. Okay, so now let's go back to my object. Go back to here. It's starting to kind of look like what we needed to go, what we needed to look like. So, tab key, edit mode. Go back into my edit menu. Get in close. Rotate it. Grab that top polygon, and I'm gonna go to one key again, and I'm gonna extrude it to here. So, E key extrude. Go to here. I think that'll work just about there. Now, S to match that scale, and then click enter. Get to that point.
Steve, could I quickly share my screen for a second?
Absolutely. Go for it.
All right, so how do I do that?
Zoom. All right, so we're going to create this other little lip here. Oops. Grab that top. I got another little lip in there. So basically, it's an inset, so the other little extrusion comes straight on out. So I key, pull it in just slightly, just enough as my photograph is showing me. Left click to commit my changes. Go back to 1 to make it easier for me to see it. E key for extrude and pull it on up to there. That's it. That's all we need to do. And left click. Now when I pull back and rotate it, okay, now it's looking at what we want it to look like.
No, that's not it. That's not it.
All we're doing is an inset and extrude. It's that simple. And that is what you're going to be using for all your modeling techniques forever and ever and ever.
I'm having trouble selecting the top surface again. It keeps selecting the facets, not the top.
Okay, so are you in the face editing mode? And not points or edges?
That's the third.
That's right.
Where it says edit mode, it's the third one to the right.
Yeah, this is the manual way of selecting your points, edges, and poly. So make sure that is targeted, and then click that right in the middle on there. It's easy to accidentally click something else, but you gotta, gotta go right in the middle.
And then inset slightly.
Yep, there you go.
Okay.
And we're gonna do something else before. Do a couple of things before lunch break.
Okay.
All right, so watch me here real quick. All right, I'm gonna get out of this this X-ray mode to view this here. I want to show you something cool in Blender. Say, for example, this edge here. Now, if I want to select this edge, this whole loop is really simple in Blender. Go to Edge Editing Mode, which is the number 2 key on your keyboard, or for some of you, for this edit here, select that edge, double click it, boom, and it selects the entire loop. That's all you do. Now, let's say, for example, I'm going to go to X-ray view temporarily, that maybe you want to modify the position of this edge. Maybe you want to bring it down just slightly because you felt you brought it up too much when you did your initial modeling. Here's a trick. The G key for go on your keyboard, you double click it and it will resize along the surface. Which is nice. So I can resize it like so and then left click and then commit my changes. All right, now here's where it gets real fun. Remember the shape of my, if I look at my photograph back here, this space in here is curved, right? We don't have a curve, but we don't care because we can put a curve in there. So we simply break down this curve, right? We put it dead center, the edge dead center of the curve, so I can take this edge and round it off in Blender. So with that edge selected, we're going to use what we use in Lightwave. The shortcut is Command B with the edge selected. In Blender, it's the exact same command, Command B. So watch me. If I hit Control B and pull it out, I can set the length of the bevel, and watch this. If I keep it in this mode and use the wheel on my mouse, I can add the curves by adding in additional edges by using the wheel at the same time and continue to get that shape. Is that making sense? So before we go to break, I'm going to do this again. I'm going to right click to not do my changes. All you're doing is selecting this edge. In fact, I'll get it out of this mode so it's easier to see. All right. So I'm going to double click this edge. Hit the S. Oh, what am I doing here? There we go. All right, it's being stubborn here. What's going on? Boom, 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 boom. Oh, did I get out of edit mode? No, I'm in edit mode. Oh, no, that's what I want to be in. And then why is it I'm not seeing? Oh, I know what it is. There. Okay. This is something I'll mess up on sometimes. If I can't see my edges, they're like this. It's because I accidentally clicked this symbol right there. That little circles, overlap circles, that turns on the visuals for your X-ray view or for your view, the views in general. So make sure that's turned on so you're always seeing your edges. And I'll accidentally turn it off from time to time. So if I come over to here, grab the edges, double click it, there's my edge. If I go over here to the one view, all right, so I can see my shape in the background, Control or Command B for bevel. Pull it out, and then use the wheel on your mouse to do this.
When I use the wheel on my mouse, it's straight though. It's not nicely curved like yours.
Should not be. Let me left click. When you left click once, you get the panel. All right, so make sure you have super ellipse and not custom. See, you probably have custom selected, and that makes it straight. If I go super ellipse, it curves it. Make sure loop slide is there. That's the only thing I can.
Yeah, that when I use the numeric panel, it behaves properly. I was using the Wacom mouse on a Wacom tablet.
Got it. Okay.
It had different behavior.
Yeah.
Whew. Okay.
And then that's it.
So I double click the edge. What do I press next?
Okay, so you click the edge. So Control B, Control or Command B for bevel.
Control B.
B for bevel.
Okay. Yeah.
And then pull it out, and then use your middle scroll wheel to set more segments.
That's a lovely feature.
That's a lovely feature. And the Blender's got lots of those lovely features all through its whole workflow.
I don't have all the. I'm doing something similar, but I don't have that orange sheet like you have on yours. I just have a line that's being dragged up and down.
Oh, okay. So
Are you in face mode or
I'm in face. Probably no. I'm in edge mode.
edge mode? Okay, that's what I'm in as well.
Okay, so I'm selecting the entire loop for the edge, and it should automatically do it. But if you're getting the same results, but you're not getting the orange, it's no big deal.
The edge slide, the double G giving
Yeah.
you an edge slide
Yeah.
is so lovely.
It's lovely. We can't do that in Lightwave.
I think there might be third-party edge slide tools for
Yeah.
Lightwave, but it's just nice. This is very nice functionality.
It's very nice.
I was able to select all the edges for the inner,
That's right.
the added lines, and then edge slide it
That's
to
right.
match what you have on your screen.
Now, everybody watch me, and then I want you to do this during your lunch break. All right, so now here, remember we got, if I go back to that, go this view, remember that your photograph in the background, those edges are a little bit rounded there in the corner, right? We got two 90-degree corners here, and the photograph itself is going to be rounded. The same thing for up in here. This edge here should be rounded. This edge here should be, well, let's not worry about this edge because we may want to use that for something else. So just all we need to be concerned about is, come on, Stephen, get this thing right. This edge, these edges there, that edge, and that edge. They both going to have I'm assuming going to have approximately the same numerics in terms of what we're going to apply. So I can do them one at a time, or I believe I can do them all at a time. Since they're all got the similar edge distance, I'm going to select them all at one time. Does that make sense so far? I don't want you to be doing it. I want you to watch me. Just watch me. So I've got them all selected. Now all I'm going to do is hit Command B on the keyboard and pull it on out and see what happens. See? And I'm going to left click. I'm going to go back, get this out of the, I want into this view. I'm going to get this out of that view. See? Now I may have two. Now if you don't want that many segments, I can go over here and say, give me just one less segment. So it's 4 segments. I like to keep them even segments. Super ellipsis there and there, and then now the problem is that the rounded looks good up here, but it's not looking good down here. What that's telling me is that the distance for the bevel is different than what should be down here. Okay, oops, sorry. Let me pull this up. So no big deal. So what I'm going to do is hit Command Z to go back, and we're going to do one at a time. Take our time, do one at a time. Do this one, Command B, get it the way I want it to look, say like probably like that, and be done with it. Okay, that kind of matches my photograph that I see back there for that edge. Okay, now we go down and get the bottom one. So I will grab that. I think I'll grab these two at the same time with a shift double click to select both loops, Command B, and I'm going to pull it on out and get it to where I want it to go, which is probably right about there. And done. The last thing is probably underneath here, probably has a little bit of a bevel, which we can barely see anyway on the photographs. I'll just go ahead and just do it. Command B and watch what happens. Done. All right. So get to that point. Okay. And then pretty much the rest of the photograph is going to be basically a cylinder and bevels and extrusions. That's it. So we've got, what, a 30-minute lunch break? Is that good enough? We come back about 1:15. How does that sound? All right, let's go get something to eat. I'm going to save this one. Command Shift S, just like in Photoshop, save as. Modeling and texture is going to be class tutorial. I'm going to call it. Call it whatever you want. You can put it back in your folder on your desktop. What was that? All right, I'm going to go ahead and pause recording. All right, so we're back from lunch. I want to answer Dale's question here on filling polygons. Is really, really simple. So let me go ahead. I'm going to grab a cylinder, put it on inside here, move it out of the way. And then I'm going to be playing with the cylinder, hit the number 3 key, select the top, and say, oops, I accidentally deleted the face off there. Okay, so I have no face on that. In Blender, it's really, really easy. You can select edges, points, the loop, and then fill it. So I'm gonna target the edges, double click on that loop, and simply hit the F key for fill. Boom, done.
Got it. I will try to reproduce that now. Thank you.
That's right. And then, of course, if I want to go to the edges here, double click.
It worked.
Good. Double click the edges, Command B. Boom. And I've got my little bevel along those edges too. I can do that. So, all right. Tab key. You're welcome.
I'll catch up.
Sounds good. All right. Object mode. Select it. Get rid of it. Okay. Uh-oh. I did something. Command Z. There we go. Object. Oh, I see. I did it inside the object.
That's working.
Edit mode. So I want that. Okay, here's something that you guys is going to really be helpful. Say for example, I've got several of these in here, so I'm going to select just this one. Shift D, move it on over. Shift D is duplicate and move it on over. Okay. Now I want you to notice something. I'm inside edit mode of this shape that I just created for my phone, right? Notice over here under the scene collection, there isn't additional, there isn't additional 3D shapes because all this is inside the quantum universe of that one shape. So Blender is only seeing this as one shape because it's inside it. Now, say for example, I want to select all the polys for these over another. So if I hit the A key, everything gets selected, including my little handle over here. I don't want that. The shortcut is place your cursor over the shape with the connected polys and hit the L key and it selects that shape. It's that simple. Right? If I don't want that one, I want this one instead, I can click it off anywhere in the interface here to deselect those. L key. If I want multiple selected, I simply put it over the next shape, L key, and the next shape, L key. And if I don't want any of those, I hit the delete key until I delete all the faces and they're gone. So just be aware of that. Yes. Jen had I guess Jen didn't have a question. Okay. All right, let's go to work. Okay, so I'm thinking I'm not quite sure how this thing's supposed to look because I'm not seeing this in 3-dimensional views. I don't have the floor plans for 3-dimensional views. I do have my sample images. Let me actually go over to Bridge here real quick. Reference images, okay? And I've got other views right here like this. And I can see right here how this basically is supposed to look. So I'm going to model this basic shape for the ear set, and all this is extrusions and bevels, all of this. So if I get in close, my mouse is acting up only because I'm using my video card. Let's see if I come down a little bit more. All right, so this shape here, right? All we're talking about is a cylinder with the rounded edges, another extrusion and a scale to make it smaller, And this looks like a little ball or basically kind of a cylinder back here, so that this head is going to pivot up and down on this axis for the cylinder. And then, of course, this is another extrusion and bevel right through here, right? So we're going to create that real quick, and then we're going to create the mouthpiece here, okay, using the same techniques, basically a cylinder, and then extruding the front face of the cylinder out, creating the little bevel pieces here, and so forth. Okay, so we're going to do that quickly. Let's see. I am going to just keep this in bridge for now, and just refer back to that ever so often. Here's another view too, another little example that I found. So I'm going to use this as a reference. So when you're modeling anything, as most good instructors will tell you, use a reference, use a reference, use a reference. Have something the reference your shape. So let's go over here. I'm thinking it might be these two on the sides, the earpiece and the mouthpiece. It's going to be basically the same technique. Let's finish up the base here. And I might do something a little bit different with the base. I'm thinking, this is what I'm thinking. I want to model that base separately a little bit, okay, and then attach it to the top portion. I think I can pretty much extrude it. No, what? I tell you what, let's not do that. Let's make it part of this next. So watch me for now. Go to my tab key, object mode. Go to this piece here. Select the object. Once the object is selected, we are going to go to my edit mode. We're going to get inside it. Okay. All right. So I'm going to select this front face. Make it simplify it. Number 3 key. Select that face. And what we're going to do is I'm going to extrude it down. So I'm going to go to my 1 key on the keyboard, take it out, and again, all I've got is this orthographic view. So I just hit the period key on the numeric side of my keyboard, and then jump back down to my selected face. Hit the 1 key to go to this mode, and this is basically going into another cylinder that's a little bit offset. So the center point is going to be set toward the back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the extrude key, extrude it out to right about there. Okay. Where the selected poly is right here, that's going to be this edge right about there. Okay. I'm going to hit the S key. Oh, that's interesting. Didn't expect that. And I think I know what it is. Let me go ahead and hit the escape key. And let's see. What have I got here? Over. Okay, here we go. All right. This is what I don't want selected. Somehow this was selected. I don't know how. I accidentally did it. This here is called proportional editing. In other words, if I scale this up, it's going to scale the entire shape proportionally. Now, you're going to want that when you're doing organic modeling. But for now, I want to keep it simple. So I'm going to hit the Command Z to undo. And the only thing I want to scale is this bottom polygons down here. So proportional editing is right here. It's directly above. And it's to the right of this normal and the bounding box option. To the very far right is this little blue symbol there. I'm going to turn it off. Now, when I hit the S key, see, now it's doing what I expect it to do. Okay, so I'm going to take it somewhere, something like this. Hit the E key for extrude and extrude it down like this. Okay, and click here. Now, I'm going to pull it out of this mode, and that's basically it, except this handle is actually offset toward the back of this large cylinder shape. If I'm looking at it correctly, I can come over here to my cylinder. I'm going to call it phone. Double click it, call it phone. So just watch me for now, because I'm going to let you do the rest in just a minute. So I'm going to go to the phone and look over to the right hand side of the phone. You got an eyeball there. I can click that eyeball off just like in Photoshop. No different. Turn the eyeball back on, it comes back. So if I take a look at this, it looks like this is not dead center. It looks like it's just shifted to the back of this cylinder shape a little bit. So I'm going to do that. So I'm going to go back, turn back on this shape here. I think the fastest way to do it is to go to my number 3 key, which is my face editing mode. Double click that whole ring. See it, double click that whole loop. Use my, let's see, I'm in normal mode here. Now watch this. It's normal mode is telling me that my x-axis pointing off to the side. I'm going to switch the direction. Let me go to global. See that change? Now I can, it's aligned to the global world view. All right. Or I can go to local view, which is the same as a world view, normal view, which is a different direction, gimbal, view. View means it aligns according to your right on view of your screen, of your viewing screen there. Okay. And then cursor, right? It's gonna line it according to your 3D cursor, but I'm gonna want to go to, let's see, if I go to local view, I think it'll work just fine. So all I'm gonna do is take this and set this forward like that. That's what it looks like it's doing to me. And then pull this up a little bit, something like this. The last thing I'm also noticing about that shape is that it's not completely round, it's kind of oval. All right, so I'm gonna take the green, see the y-axis, that little cube represents scale. I want to scale only on the y-axis and go like that. And that's a little closer. I can even pull it out toward the X a little bit more too. And get to this point. Okay, so what you're doing is you're extruding down, scaling it out, and then extruding it down again to create this lip. You're using you're in your transform option here, and you're using your transform to offset the size on the y-axis. I also made it a little longer on the y-axis, and then I also made sure that up in here, right, I'm going to be using my local view as opposed to my normal view. I think we were in normal last time. Normal is great when you're using a single face polygon and you want everything to be moved along that particular axis. That's really handy for normals. So you're aligning your axis to your normal direction, the direction of your normals on your polygon. All right, so I'm going to pause recording. What we're doing is we're keeping in mind that this front sections is going to have the dial on it. And I'm thinking, well, I probably want a little bit thicker than that because it's going to be a little circular dial, especially in the front face. So I'm probably going to want this to come out more. So if that's the case, again, I can just double click that ring once again and just pull it. I want to extend this out like this. Yeah, there we go. That's probably better. I'm guessing because I don't have an actual front, side, and a top view of the floor plan here, so I'm kind of guessing what this is going to look like. And again, I can go to my X-ray view so I can see through this as well. So everybody kind of have their eyes up here. Okay, so again, we're not interested in detail. We're just trying to get the basic shape. Got the basic shape there. Let's go ahead and let's go ahead and get this this handle here, or the earpiece. So the same thing. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to make this earpiece a separate piece from the stand, from the base in the stand. So tab, go to object mode to get out of this piece here, right? Okay. And now we're going to do something separate. I'm not seeing something. I want to see my edges. So if your edges are not showing up here when you're in object mode, it's because I'm going to come right over here. Just to the left of my X-ray view, you see my down arrow. Once this drops out and open, click the box under the geometry for wireframe, and now you can see your wireframe in object mode. And just be aware that you can do that there. Okay, if I unselect it, I can see my actual lines of my geometry. All right, let's go and get this little piece right here. I'm going to go Shift A, add another cylinder. It should default to 24. I'm going to now hit the S key. Now pay attention to what I'm doing. Hit the S key. I'm going to go to number 1 so I can go to the side view. And I think I'm going to bring it up here. Okay, and I'm going to probably just bring it S just a little bit more like that and right there. Now, pay attention to what I just did. Did I resize this in edit mode? No, I resized it in object mode. Therefore, the scale is not 1 to 1 to 1.
Yeah.
I want that back to 1 to 1 to 1. Command A, all transforms. It resets the rotation point to 0, 0, 0. So right click, set the origin back to the geometry for that shape. And it'll always stay there until you physically move it. Now we're going to go ahead and make our little piece here. It should be pretty easy. In fact, I'm thinking probably I'll go into my edit mode, go to edit mode, go grab my front face, 1 key. See, I'm going to start moving a little faster. So I'm going to do this to right about there. E key for extrude, take it to right about there. S key to take it to right about like that. And we're going to do one more extrude to here. And then left click to commit the changes. S key to bring it out a little bit more like that. Okay. Then from here, and it should be pretty obvious at this point because it's the exact same thing we've been doing all along. E key for extrude. Right click to snap it back. S key to bring it out. That's going to be the lip of the earpiece. Left click to commit the changes. E key for extrude. And just, you're done. It's that simple. So get to that point. It's the same thing we've been doing all along. And your character modeling, your hard surface modeling with knives, houses, windows is all the same workflow. We just
Will
make
you
yeah.
show us how to apply the transform at the object level? Because we scaled it at the object level, but we didn't apply the transform.
I did earlier. Remember, I hit Command A and reset all.
Okay, I missed that because I was looking at the Blender.
Yeah, I did. I did reset. If you doubt me, what I do is I go back, object mode, 1 to 1 to 1. Here, edit mode again. Go back to edit mode. So I'll give you guys a few minutes to get to that point. And go to resume. Okay, now we're going to start kind of just getting this shape looking fairly accurate. All right, so it's the same things we did last time. I'm going to go to my edge view, and the reason we put that edge there because we're anticipating shaping this out to match my earpiece. Command B for bevel, pull it on out. There it is. Look, it's matching it right there. Look at the back right behind it. Pull it on out. It's going to match it. Just go as far as you need to go, as the image is telling you to go, and then left click and you're done. Okay? Now we're going to come over to here and do the same thing because there's a slight little bevel right into there. So Command B, pull it out, and yeah, that's better. That's probably too many loops in here. So I'm going to come back and give it I think that's enough right there. That works. Look at that. See how easy that was? It's that easy. I am next going to this little top portion, which is basically, what do you call that? The little lip that's going to set right on top of this, the hang-up piece, a piece that hangs up the telephone. So I'm going to go ahead and model that now. That should be pretty self-explanatory. I'm gonna hit the number 3 key on the keyboard to go to my face editing mode. You'll know visually that you're in your face editing mode because you see the lines will line up black and then the little dots will start showing up in the middle of each face. That tells you you're pretty much in your poly editing mode. Select that one face and let's go ahead and create this. So I'm gonna go here, E key for extrude, pull it on up to right about there. E key again for extrude to pull it up higher. Left click, then S key right there. Okay, so if you see what's happening, and then I'm going to take this E key, extrude that lip, and then one more extrusion to here, S key. Oops, I messed up something. I hate it when I do that. E key for the extrusion, left click, S key to pull it in something like this. Okay. That should work. All right. Remember, simple shapes, no detail. Now we're going to start adding the detail, a little bit of the detail. So 2, double click this. I think I'm going to double click both of these. No, I'm going to double click the one at a time. Command B, pull it something like that. Okay, go to this edge here, and this is going to be very different, I think. Command B, yeah, this is going to be very different, but watch what I'm going to do. It's overlapping, right? Well, I guess I can't, not too much I can do. What I'm going to have to do is this. Let me undo that one. Hit escape key. Let me do this. Let me go and select these edges. I'm probably selecting the wrong edges. Now, Command B, there we go. See, I was selecting the wrong edges. So I'm going to pull this down, and then it's down a little bit too low, but it doesn't care. I got my transform tool selected. Just pull it on up to match the shape. Is that making sense? So if we turn off that view, it's starting to look like something. All right, it's starting to look like our phone. Next, now if we take a look at this, let me turn off the cylinder. All right, we got this other lip right down here that has a little bit of a rounded edge to it on both sides. Okay, so we have to now accurately reflect that. I'll do that one, and then I'm going to give you guys a couple of minutes to get up to this point. So those two edges are right here. They're this is this edge loop, and it's this edge loop there. So I'll target this one first. Command B, pull it out and say about like this. But we also have this interior one that's a slight bevel too. Grab that one, Control B, and see that? Now we have this one, which has a much more of a shallower curve here. That's no big deal. So I'll just double click that, Command B, and go as far as I need to go. Looking at the shape, goes there. That looks good right about there. I'm thinking add a few more, like 4, 5, 6. No, that's too many. I'm gonna go to 4. How does that look? So if we get out of X-ray mode, see what's happening? I guess in criticizing myself here, the only other thing I would do is go to this shape. Remember, up here we got two different shapes. We've got the phone there. We have our new cylinder. Let's see. There's my new cylinder is there. Right? So go to my tab view, object mode, one there and one there. And look over here on my object scene. There's my phone. There's my cylinder. I'm going to rename that one and call it earpiece. Okay, so we're making progress. the last thing I want to do is kind of, give this a little bit of a bevel down here. So I got to select the shape first in object view, tab, edit view, get in close to that ring I want to select there, Command B, and then done, ready to go. See, now we're starting to add in the details. So only thing we need to do is to do this, that's the mouthpiece. I call it the earpiece. That's the mouthpiece here. So get out, go to object mode. Mouthpiece is done. That's the mouthpiece. No, that's the earpiece. Earpiece is done. The base is almost done. And then we've got the earpiece to do next. So we'll do the earpiece next. You guys want to work on this one next real quick? Okay, I'll give you about 5 to 8 minutes to work on that. And I'll pause the recording. Zoom. Okay, there we go. All right, so for your convenience, I'm going to do it again. So you guys can keep working on yours while I'm doing this if you like. Let me go pull this back a little bit. Let me go back here to, I'm going to go to my object view. I'm trying to see why I'm not seeing my image plane here. I should be able to see it if let me get out of X-ray view. There we go. Okay, there is my object. And the dangerous hotkey is this one right up here in the top.
Oh, button.
That button right there. That white and those 2 half circles with the drop menu here. I keep accidentally turning it off. That turns off your visuals. It's called show overlays. So if I click the show overlays, it comes back.
Good to know. Thank you.
I keep hitting that. So what I did was I brought in an image. And this image, once again, is in your folder. I'll go ahead and show you inside a bridge. If I can find bridge here. Is that bridge? That's not bridge. Let's go there. Let's go to bridge. Here we go. All right. So inside a bridge, you've got that image right there. Okay. I dragged it on in to the side view. Let's close that out. Let's go back and get Blender. Okay. And I resized it. So I'm gonna go over here to my X-ray. Go to the number 3 key in the keyboard, and I resized it, keeping it simple. Okay. I'm going to go to my edit view. I want to go to my object now. So I'm going to target my object. Go to tab, object view. And I've got my earpiece, and I don't want the earpiece, but I want the foam base there. So now that's targeted. So once that's targeted, I want to go to edit view for the foam base. There we are. Get in closer, rotate slightly. Everything's selected. I don't want everything selected. I want just that front face. Okay. All right, go to number 3 key on the keyboard, and I think what I'm going to do is pull this out just a little bit. And I'm going to go to, I want X-ray view, but not the whole wireframe view. There we go. Pull this on down. S key, pull it on out. And I'm going to pull this to right about center of that curve right in here. Pull it back to right about there. And then E key for extrude. And yeah, I guess I'm going to take it to right about there. S key to bring it up. I'm probably going to bring this back just a little bit right about there. And then I'm probably going to make it just slightly bigger. So it looks like I'm a little bit too small. E key for extrude, extrude it out. And once again, if that background image is, and if I go to my, the empty here, okay, if I target that, if that tab key, go to object mode, okay, and go to my image properties right down here at the bottom. Actually, let me come back up and make sure that the empty is targeted, which it isn't. So select it so it's highlighted yellow. Come down here to the image properties. So the image is selected, image properties right down here. Go to your opacity and bring it down a little bit, right? So it's less, visually obtrusive with your 3D object. Okay. I'm going to call this one side plane, side image plane. And I think I'll call this other one front image plane. Okay, there we go. All right, so there it is. So at this point, I'm just going to add bevels to it. So grab this shape, okay, which is my foam base, tab, edit mode, okay, and I'm going to go ahead and start playing. So I'm going to start here, get in close. I have to do that on a regular basis. I don't want the face surfaces. I want the edges. So it's called a chamfer. Whenever you're beveling an edge, it's called a chamfer. And then pull it on out. All right, I'm looking at this. I don't want custom. That's why it's looking flat. So be aware of that. You want super ellipse. Boom. There's my curve. Now, why it reset to custom, I have no idea, because I did not manually do that earlier. I know I didn't. All right, so I'm going to pull it across. And here, this little edge here, I'm going to double click it. It's up too high. So double G, pull it down to there. Now, Command B, and match that shape. There. Hit the 3 key, and you can see what I've done. Next, double click that edge. And I think I might want to push the edge further a little bit. So maybe double G, push it right about there. That works. Now, Command B, see? Done. We're almost done. I mean, I might want to come back here and deal with this little back edge here. I gotta adjust this so I'm getting the right edge. If you don't see it, it's not going to be selected. Command B, there we go. That works. Do the same thing here. Get the right angle so I can see the edge that I want. That's not the edge that I want. I want that one there. Command B. And then I'll just come down in here. Now the X-ray is getting in my way visually, so turn it off. Right? You guys have to do that. You have to force yourself to come in here and make adjustments real quick. Double click it, get that edge, Command B. Once I have the edges placed, all you do is now it's just easy. Command B all the way across. Come right over to here, double click it, Command B. Go as far as you think you want to go. You need to go, okay? All right. All right, let's finish this up. You guys want to watch me here next? Don't all speak.
Kind of following along.
Following along? Okay, cool.
I don't know what other people are doing though.
But it's starting to look okay. We got to modify the base a little bit more. We got to get the rest of this mouthpiece to extrude out. That's pretty easy to do. So I'm going to go grab that. I'm going to go to number 3 key, grab that front face. And I'm going to just bring it a little bit over to the side just so I can see a little bit better in relationship to my photograph. I key for inset. All right, what's happening here? What did I push? Did I do inset? I don't think I did inset. So let me undo that one, undo that. Okay. I key for inset. There we go. I'm going to bring it about that much there. That's about right. E key for extrude to right about there, because there's a little bit of a curve right in there, so I'm going to respect that. E key for extrude again, because we're going to take this probably to right about there. And I'm going to go to the 3 key on the side, and then S to kind of match that curve there. I might want to pull this a little bit more like that. That's better. I key extrude again, pull it to here, and then S to scale, right there, just like that. And we're pretty much done with it, just about. So I'll go back to X-ray view again. You see, I'm constantly switching back and forth between X-ray and solid to help me model. Now I can see in X-ray view that this is my edge here. Hit the number 2 key. My edge here is in the wrong position, so I'm going to push it in the right position, right about there, and S key to resize it down more accurately. There it is. So now it's just beveled again. Grab that, Command B, grab this one. Now this one's going to be a little bit of a problem because I need another loop in here, because this outside should come out a little bit more. So I'll see that little curve that's supposed to happen in here. I don't have an extra loop to push that curve in, so I've got to put one in. So if you guys remember, I'll go back, take off the X-ray view, Command R, there's my loop. Click once, it allows me to slide, place it where I want. To click again, it commits to changes. Now, back to X-ray view, the 3 key on the side, S key for scale, pull it in about like that. And then the back end actually comes out a little more, up a little more. So it needs to be larger. So go grab that edge, right? S, and pull that up like that. See? So go to the 3 key. See? Those straight edges is kind of reflecting that shape. So now go grab these loops, Command B. See? Just like this. Come back here, Command B. It's stupidly simple. It's just using straight edges to match your shape, and then use your bevel command to round off those edges. So I want to do one last thing. I want to go to this edge because nothing in 3D world is a sharp edge. So I'm going to go over here, Command B, and give it a little. Oh, something happened. That's really weird. Let me click it and see what happened here. Huh? Really bizarre. Okay, so let me go undo that and discover why it did that. You know, like in Lightwave, you hit the M key for the merge command to merge any potential duplicated edges and polys. It's the same command in Blender. If I think there's something overlapping in here or sharing or points sharing the same space, I hit M for merge in Blender and simply click merge by distance. And if it says 0, which it does here, that means you're good to go. You're fine. So we're making some progress. So the only thing we need to do is just add just a few little details, and And then we need to actually do the coil, which you're going to love. So I'll give you guys 8 to 10 minutes to kind of finish up this portion here. I'm going to go ahead and do that edge and go to B. And what's going on here? Why is this? Why? There's a reason, and I know it, and I've forgotten it. So what's going on there? I'm going to have to research that out. So the bevel command. All the other edges work just fine. All right. While you guys continue to work, I'm going to share something else. The only other thing I'm thinking of here is I'm going to turn off this side object. So tab key, I'm going to turn off this one by clicking off the eyeball. I can always bring it back anytime I want, right? And I want to take a look at this. I'm just noticing that on the base of this image here, it's a little bit of an indent. So there's kind of a slight grout going along the base here and right at the top edge. And that's easy. So if I target the object, go to edit mode, hit the 3 key for the face mode, and I'm going to select that whole loop there. It's really easy. I key for inset. Look, it insets everything, the entire shape inwards. E key for extrude, and then right click to reset back in the same place. Then the S key to resize it in slightly. See? And that's all we're doing. You guys want a break? 10-minute break? Sounds good. All right, take a break. Or is it a 15-minute break? So come after 5 after 3. And I'm going to save this. In next week's class, we're going to do a little bit of, I'll show you a little bit of some animation stuff.
Do we get access to the video later on?
You absolutely do.
Great. I'll need it.
We're going to do some booleans next. Show you how to do booleans in Blender. I should probably show you how to start doing some surfacing real quick too. think I'll definitely go grab a snack. There we go. All right. So keep in mind, obviously, we're not going to absolutely complete this, all the details of this phone, but it's going to give you a good idea how to use the modeling tools. And so what we have left, and I'm going to come over here to the phone base and turn it off temporarily so I can get in closer. We just have a basic cylinder coming from the top portion of the base stand. And then we have another cylinder on top of that with holes that have been bullioned into it. Okay. I'll show you the bullions. I'll show you this. And then what we're going to do next is we're going to get into the cord. And then I'll show you some basic shaders to put on here to kind of, to give the surface some character to it.
May I ask a question that is slightly off topic, and you feel free to shoot it down?
Okay.
Have you looked? I believe that there is a live Boolean plugin for Blender. Have you looked at that at all?
That's what we're going to do next.
Oh, it's live?
It's live.
Okay, I'm shutting up.
Would you like me to kill it?
I'm shutting up.
Okay. All right. Very good. All right. All right. So I'm going to give you the concept of live booleans just a little bit. But anyways, let's go ahead, and I'm going to just make that disc that's going to sit right on top of that face. We're going to keep it really simple. And let's go back and turn on my phone base. And there we go. Let's go get the shape. I want to go to tab view. Okay. And I'm going to make this as a separate object. So Shift A, I'm going to mesh, and I'm going to come right over here to cylinder. Now, you guys, everything I'm going to show you at this point, you've already done. So you don't have to follow me on this one. I'll just do it and let you watch. Okay. Now, I'm going to do something intentionally, which is resize this down in object mode. Okay. And then I want to get this just right, approximately right about there. Pull this on over. Come over here to Z, resizing the Z axis about that. I'm going to pull it on down right about in here. Place it where it should go. Actually, this should be slightly smaller, possibly. Here, let me. I might help me to just to look inside a bridge real quick. It might be faster and easier. Let's go back to my object right there and pull it on up. So yeah, it's gonna fit inside here and in front of this stand. So it's gonna be a fairly small little dialer there. It's not very large. All right. So with that in mind, we'll go back into Blender. Okay. And we'll do our job. So S key, bring it on down, put it on over. Okay. In front of the stand and just slightly inside of the other. So I'll bring it just a little bit bigger, right about there. That works. Bring it on down. I'm going to go to my 3 view. Bring it here. Pull it on down. Use my red axis to rotate it. Just like so. And it may be a little bit too large, actually, but actually maybe, yeah, S key, just a little bit, right about there. Okay. It's got to be a perfect circular shape because you're dialing in a circular fashion. I'm going to come back, take a look at bridge real quick. And okay. Let's go back to Blender. That's pretty good. That's not bad. That's fairly close. All right. So at this point, remember, I resized this whole thing inside the object view. So Command A, lock all the transformations, right click, right? Set origin to geometry. There we go. All right, so here we go. The dial is going to sit right on top of this. So let me go inside. I'm gonna duplicate this first. The way you duplicate an object is shift D for duplicate. I'm gonna call this one dialer base so I can keep track of all this. Dialer base. I'm gonna duplicate this with a shift D. Right click to reset it, and then pull it on up. Okay, and the problem is that when we reset this, let me go back. When we reset this, it automatically reset to world view. Okay. Let's see, local, global. Let's see, it's not going to really work here. Normals and all that. Okay, because we're basically inside the object base. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and undo what I did when I reset this. So I'm going to go back. There we go. Command Z. There we go. All right, now it's matched to the axis of my object, and I'm going to keep it that way for a while. And I'm going to hit Shift D now. Now it stays in that object orientation. Pull it on down and match the other. This is going to be my dialer. My dialer should be much thinner, like this, right on top. And pull it on down. Okay. All right, now I'm going to reset it to the object. So Command A, reset all my transforms. Go to the second one, Shift A, reset all its transforms, and I will go back and reset the origin to the geometry. Reset the origin to the geometry. All right, here's where it gets fun. I want to bevel this a little bit. We have modifiers. So hopefully this is going to work. I know it will work with this one. So I'm going to target this one. We got modifiers. Remember bevels? We've been actually applying bevels destructively to the objects up until this point. But we've got modifiers. So if I select this bottom base, and in fact, I'm going to select the top one and hit the H key, which is a shortcut for hide. Hit the H key, it's still there, but it's hidden. You can see right here, it turned off the eyeball. So the shortcut for turning off the eyeball is H for hide. Target this symbol here, and I'm going to come right over here to this little blue gear. Looks like a wrench gear. That's your modifiers. So if I target the modifiers and say, I want a bevel put on here, and select it, it does a bevel. Well, your bevel is really too wide, so I'm going to pull it back and do something like this. And then I'm going to take the segments and add a few segments to it like this. And I'm done. Now, the advantage of this is that it's non-destructive. I can come back here and edit this anytime I want. So we did it destructively earlier so that you can understand the process, but also it gives you more control over what you bevel and where you bevel. Here, it's not all that necessary to if I wanted to just bevel just one edge, then I could do that in destructive mode. Here, it's beveling the entire object. But because it's hidden underneath, it doesn't really matter. Now, I'm going to go back to my, I want to show my other object. I can hit the little eyeball here, or Alt-H, which means show everything, which also brought back my other image back here, which I'm going to target, and I'm going to hit the H key and turn it off. So I'm going to come back here, target this shape, okay, and I'm going to give that a bevel. So give that a bevel modifier. As you can see, it's really beveled, and I don't want it really beveled, so I'm going to pull it back a little bit. There we go. So probably something like, this is 0.0, I probably want to go 0.008. 0.008. There we go. So we have a slight little edge there, and I'm going to give it maybe 4 iterations there. Okay, so now I want to do some live booleans. I'm going to Command S. Okay. And we're going to put the diodes in here. This way live booleans work. Shift A, I'm going to come over here and grab a cube. Bring the cube out. Let's go to Shift A and let's go grab another mesh, which is going to be UV sphere. We'll bring this on out and I'm going to overlap them. Earlier, I had you guys set a preference, go to Preferences, and also make sure the add-on of Bool Tools is there. So this is the Bool Tools. It allows you to do shortcuts for booleans. In Lightwave, it's destructive. And it's also, in Lightwave, you have to have a panel to tell it what you want it to do. In Bool Tools, you don't. There's shortcuts. And the way the shortcuts work is like this. I'm going to allow the sphere to be the cutting object. You target the cutting object first. I want to take this object and I want to cut that square. So target that one second, last. Cutting object to cut first. The object you're going to cut last. It's like the knife. Take the knife and then the knife is in your hand first. And then the knife second, lastly, cuts the thing. So I targeted the cutting object, shift click the object to be cut out of it, and then all you have to do is this. Control or Command on your keyboard and minus on your numerical side, and that means Boolean. Slice it out. And we got live Booleans. I can take that cutting object, it's just a regular object, and move it around. Come on. See? I can move it around. See, look, Dale's all happy. Right? This is what Lightwave does not have.
That is my favorite feature of ZBrush.
Yeah,
that is
I know.
why I am so desperate to have this.
Yeah. Yeah, we got it in here, right? All right, let's play around some more. What if we want to just add it together? So we want to add the two objects together, boolean them together as one single object. I'm going to hit Command Z to go back. Same shortcut commands. Cutting object first, the cube second, and then instead of Control minus, Command or Control plus. And there it is. Okay. Now, what if I want a intersect? So I'm going to go Command Z, right? So instead of Control plus or minus, Control the asterisk that's just to the left of the minus on your numerical side. And now you've got intersecting. And that's it. That's it.
May I ask a question, Stephen?
Sure.
You're showing us this using hotkeys. Is there, in case I forget, a panel for this? How would I remember?
Right here on your right-hand side under modifiers, it's showing you right there. When I added these shortcuts to it, it created a modifier. So it's non-destructive.
That looks like you can choose on the modifier.
You can choose
change your mind.
Union, difference.
Got it.
That's really nice.
Isn't that nice?
This must be something new they added in 3.0.
No. It's been there forever.
I'm an idiot.
No.
Turning off the mic.
Okay. So we're going to do the same thing for the holes in there. See, I like that smile on Dale's face. When Dale's happy, you know you're doing good. Okay, so I'm going to go select both of these and hit delete key and get rid of it. I'm done playing with it. All right, so now we're going to go do a ring. So I have to go get, I got to make something here. I'm going to go Command A, mesh, come over here, grab my cylinder, and make a ring. So I'm going to S key, make it really small like that. I'm not going to do all these rings. I'm just going to do a couple of them. Okay, bring it down. Okay. We'll go to side view. Period key. Had to jump very quickly to where I wanted to go. And just rotate it like that. Go to front view just to make sure that looks okay. Okay, that's fine. Okay. And I think we'll just go like this. That's all I need. That's about right there. Command A to reset all transforms. We'll convert to go to my set origin back to geometry. Okay. Now here's where it gets tricky. I only have one of those, right? So, and take a look at my origin. If you want to reset that origin so it's a little bit aligned a little better with your object, it has to be done in edit mode. So tab key, edit mode, and I'm going to rotate. I'm going to take a look at my rotational point here. Let's see what I've got. I got local view. Let's see what normal view does. There we go. Okay, there we go. Normal view is great. It's aligned to my object. So now I can come over here and just do that. Okay. I'm going to be sloppy here because we don't have a lot of time. So Shift D and move it over to here like that. Put that back. Oh, it's in normal mode. I wonder why I didn't keep my transforms like okay, there, I guess it did. That's kind of weird. Why didn't it just hit the L key to select it all? Huh, really weird. Doesn't matter. I'm just going to grab it right in here and bring it straight down like that. Okay. There's a way to be more accurate, but I'm not going to be more accurate. So I just want to show you this real quick. Shift D again. Bring it on over. There. Bring it on over like this. Hit the L key to select all of that. Select this here and then hit the L key to select all those adjacent polys. Okay. I'll do one more just for fun. Bring it on over. L key, Shift D. So what we're talking about is multiple individual shapes within one geometry. It's all within the cylinders right here. So I'm going to call this one finger cuts. This is all inside one shape. Okay, done. I'm going to hit Command S to save. And this is how I'm going to cut out those rings. So that's inside one shape. I have to go back to tab, go to object mode. The only mode that modifiers work in, right, is in object mode. Okay, so we're going to take two separate objects. Select the cutter first. Select the disc next. And let's hope this works. Shift minus. What? What? Huh. It didn't like it. Let's do something. Let's select this.
So far, though, this is still more stable than my Moto class was.
Okay. Let me. That's the booleans here, but I added a. That's strange. That's the booleans is there. Modifier. Let me delete. Okay, so I deleted even the beveling in there. So it's straight. So why does it not want to do that? So if I come, okay, so I got to undo all this. Okay. Click this here. You know what? It may have something to do with the bevel. Okay. I'm going to delete the bevel. I'm just going to get rid of it for now. Let's see if it works now. So target this and shift select this. Command minus. There it is. It was the bevel. The bevel was screwing it up. And there are my live booleans. Okay. It was a bevel was screwing that up. All right, so there. Now, do we have a Boolean shape here? No, we do not. It's in a modifier Boolean. I can turn off and on the Boolean. Right over here, you see a picture. If you have 3 blue buttons, the one in the dead center is a picture of it's a viewing, the real-time display viewing. Turn it off, Boolean be gone. Turn it on, Boolean's being displayed. Okay, so you can turn on and off your modifiers because it's all non-destructive. There are other ways to get the beveling effect and include the booleans. I'll save that for next week. But there is my dial on top of the dial base. Let's see, what else do I have to do? There's more details, but we won't have time for me to model all the details in there. So we go back to here. Yeah, of course, we got another little, a cylinder coming out, which is indented in, where you would take off that plastic piece there, and you'll write your phone number on there, back in the day. So you always knew your phone number. So this portions of it, I'm confident that you guys know how to make that, because all that is inset, and extrude inwards, and then bevel these edges to get them round. Now I want to show you something else very important. Now so far we've been working in a visual mode, where we're not really, what is it called in Lightwave, where we're smoothing out the edges. I guess it's called smoothing, huh? Get the same thing in Blender. So how do we apply it? Just right click on it. Shade smooth. Click it. Boom. Now it's smooth. Click on my the earpiece here. Right click. Shade smooth. And there it is. And now it's smooth.
Are you in object or edit mode?
I'm in object mode.
Okay.
Great question. Now, I have it smooth, but I also wanted to maintain my shape, right? Because it sacrificed my shape just a little bit. To do so, target the object. On the right-hand side, you see this little green triangle thing here. That represents your polys or your geometry. And if you come over to the right-hand side, you'll see a menu for normals. I'm going to scroll down, and you'll see the normals, because basically what you're doing is you're interfering with the normals to give it the smoothing shape. So if I target hit the drop-down menu for the normals, and see it auto smooth, watch what happens when I turn it on. Put a check mark there. Boom. See that? It smoothed it out, but maintained its geometry and shape that I created. We're going to do the same thing for this one over here. Select it. I already did shade smooth, right? So now all I need to do is come over to the normals and hit auto smooth. Boom. Now it maintains that shape with the smoothing a lot more accurately. I can do the same thing for the dial. Click on this one here, right click, shade smooth. See, the faceted aspects are gone. Now it's completely smooth. And what we're going to do now is go to auto smooth. Boom. Okay, you can't see much there, but I'll do the same thing here. For the top one, shade smooth. Now that one's going to be really funky. So this is why it was having problems beveling, is because of this issue. All right, even if I go to auto smooth here, there it is. It gets rid of it. So no auto smooth. It does an extreme smoothing, which is reflecting the tension going on in your geometry here. And the way to get rid of this is actually to subdivide it. And that'll smooth it out more. But auto smooth seems to work, so we'll let it stay. Okay. All right. So now we got to do the chord. The part you've been waiting for. So any questions at this point?
It's the shading worked, but it made mine look a little bit too much like it's melting, or it removed some of the sharper points of the geometry.
Did you that's what it's supposed to do. And but you also have to put in auto smooth, and that will bring back the sharp points of the geometry with your smoothing. That's what auto smooth does. So whatever you select, right click smooth, but you have to make sure while that is still selected, come over here to the right hand side, the little middle menu, go to that green triangle and go to find normal. So normals menu and click auto smooth.
Green triangle. All right.
And look for the normals menu.
Normals. Okay, good, got it. Auto smooth. Okay, and so I can choose how much I want.
Right. 30
so there we go.
30 degrees usually works pretty good.
All right, perfect. Yeah, okay, so yeah, my little dial platform, that thing where the buttons are, the finger holes are, it basically turned it into a, it was too smooth. So thank you.
It's the same thing with mine. When I target it and I take off auto smooth, oh, wrong one. That one, thank you. See, I was getting that. Way too smooth, and it's reflecting the tension of the polys in here. But auto smooth corrects it.
Stephen, can I ask a question?
Sure.
If we go back to that basic sphere and cube that you booleaned,
yep.
Could you quickly show me again what those steps are? Because I have not been able to reproduce that with the cube and sphere.
Let me come back to that, because I want to do this next one, which you guys you guys are probably not going to remember these next steps, but at least you got the recording, so you can watch this again. All right, here we go. Let's do this now. Check this out. I've got everything kind of individual here. I've got the camera and the cylinder and all that stuff. I can select everything by shift select all of this and put it into its own group. Like in Photoshop, like Photoshop groups. The shortcut is the M key for man. Put it into a new collection. And I'll put it in I'll call it all my 3D objects. And then click OK. And now they're in a group called all my 3D objects, and I can turn the eyeball off and turn them off anytime I want. Okay, so I can, if they're in the way, I can turn them off and on. The cutters are on, turn the cutters off. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is we're going to make our little curvy thing. So the idea here is, just so that we have a visual to work with, is I want to create that little curly curly curve, a little chord there. And you're going to love it. All right, here we go. All right, let's go back into Blender. I can turn it off. Okay, now I am going to I'm going to use a modifier to accomplish this. But that modifier is going to use a shape. Okay. If I go get a shape, Shift A, and instead of, I'm going to go to the mesh, and I'm going to target circle. And what the circle is just a circle. If I turn on, I want to kind of resize this in relationship to my phone. So I'm going to turn on the phone temporarily, and I want to match the circle. The circle is going to represent the diameter of the single chord. So S key, bring it down like really small, like this, kind of right about there. Okay, I'm going to turn it off and hit the period key to jump on in. All right. So now what I want to do is I want a profile view for this. If I go to the number 3 view for the side, let's see what's happening here. Yeah, I think what I want to do is come right over here and rotate it straight up and down in profile view. Okay, that looks good, I think. Okay. I'm going to pull this off to the side just a little bit. Okay. All right, so there's my shape. This is basically going to represent my chord. So the circular chord, this is going to be the circular exterior of the chord that we're going to extrude it along some fancy little shape. To help me with this, I'm in object mode. Why? Because I'm going to use a modifier. Modifiers work in object mode. So if I come over to that blue wrench gear here and select it, I'm going to go to the modifier right there to get my modifier. The modifier that I want is called screw. Alphabetical order under generate, screw. And when I select it, it's screwing. But it's screwing on the wrong axis. Look over here on the right hand side, there's my modifier. If I bring this up close, so I hit the period key so we can see this up close, I can change the axis that it's screwing on. So Y, now it's creating the screw effect on the Y axis. X is creating on the X axis. Okay, so I'm going to go back to Z for now. I want to control the axis that this is being screwed. The screwing algorithm is being applied to. I'm going to use a null. So the null in Blender are called empties. Empties and null is synonymous. How do I get them? Shift A, just as usual. Come down to empty, and I'm going to grab the arrow empty. You got all these different types of empties, and all different nulls. Like I got a cone null, a sphere-looking null, a cube-looking null. I got all types of nulls to my heart's content, right there in front of me. So I'm going to go to arrows, and there it is. Got a nice little big arrow node right there. Okay, and I'm going to tell it to use this null to apply the screwing algorithms. So if I go back to my shape, right down here, the axis object is going to be, click the little eyedropper, come over to the empty or the null and click it, and there it is. It's wrapping around that null. Okay, I'm going to play with this. I'm going to try y-axis, and I'm going to try x-axis, which is not going to work. Looks like z-axis seems to work the best. Okay. I want to try something else. I'm going to go to the shape and I'm going to rotate it. There we go. That's what I wanted. See what I did? So if I turn off this screw, I had it rotated in the wrong way. So I want to rotate it like this along the x-axis. See what I did? So now it's rotating on the x-axis. So when I turn on the Z, now there it is. It's rotating around my empty. Okay, now I need to screw it. Here's my screw, which is 0. 360 is accurate. My screw is 0, and now I can screw it. Okay. Don't worry, it gets better. So let's say we want to control how close those iterations are. So if we take a look at this shape here, right? They're kind of close together. I want to create that effect. Okay. So I'm going to come over here to the screw. And I'm going to say, keep it close together just like that. Okay, I'm visually assessing it. Probably pull it apart just a little bit more. Right about there. Now, this is where it gets really fun. Now I tell it, okay, I want more of these. Iterations. Whoop. Okay, we're not done yet. How do I control this damn thing? I want to take it and twist it and place it wherever I want. Well, we have another modifier. I'm going to go close this one up, called curve modifier. You know how we use bones in Lightwave? Probably in Lightwave you would put a bone a chain in here and then tell the bone to control its shape. Well, curves do something similar to what bones do in Lightwave. So I can come over here and I'm going to put in a new modifier. This time, just on the right-hand list, I'm going to put a curve modifier. But I don't have a curve yet. So I'm going to go make a curve. Where do I go get the curve? Shift A again. Curve. Bezier curve. Just like in Photoshop. No different. Put the curve down in there. And there it is. So now I'm gonna manipulate this curve. I'm gonna rotate it upwards like this, just to kind of get something going here. Pull it on up, and it's only 2 points, right? So to edit the curve, and I'm gonna go ahead and go to X-ray view. To edit the curve, I gotta go to edit mode. So edit the curve. And look, I got Bezier handles just like in Photoshop. Select the edge of that handle and do. I can do whatever I want. If I want to add additional segments to it, so there's the top of that point. What's the shortcut for extrude? E. The same shortcut. E, boom. We got another little curve. Came out right there. Right? E again, boom, and I'll curve it over here just like that. And if I select any of these points, I got my Bezier handles. Click and drag over the handle, and I can do whatever I want. Okay, the goal here now is to get this thing to move along that curve. So the curve is going to be now my shapeshifter. So in order to do that, I'm going to go to my tab key, go to object view, select the object, go to my curve, tell it what curve that it's going to warp along. Hit the eyedropper, select the curve. Boom. Right? So what can we do? Take it and go right? We can do this all day long. Right? Okay, but all right. I need more segments because it's got to be longer. I'm going to bring it on over. I don't want to move that actually. I'll just leave it alone for now. I need more segments, so go back to the screw modifier. Iterations. However many you want. Right? So how do I modify the shape ultimately? You click on the curve. You go to edit mode. And you click on whatever point you want. And you can go replace this wherever you want. Select that top one there. See? And say this is a little bit long, but you need more segments. No big deal. Object mode. Select the curve. Give it more iterations. Alright. So now, let's go get see what we can do here. All my 3D objects are there. That's probably a little bit big, but we'll modify it later. So go target the curve. Go to my edit mode. Let's see, what can I do with this? I'm going to go grab this end here. And say it's going to start down here at the bottom. Grab just this one over here, pull that down. And I've got more points over here. And pull those down. And maybe what we'll do is we'll just grab... Do I have another one over here? No. This one's too high. Okay, so we'll bring it on down like this. Okay. We'll lay it down on the floor somewhere. Grab this point. Say you need to add more points in here, right? Like in between these two, right up in here. Right click, subdivide. Boom, added a new point right dead in the middle. And then now you got more control. All right, I got a lot more control. Let's see, where is the top of this handle? Is it up here? It's right down. That's the top right there. So I've got too many iterations. So here, click on this object mode, click on that, and then just go to my screw and bring my iterations down. Right about there. So you see where we're going?
Can you rotate the Bezier control points?
Oh yeah. So
I was wondering if that would help stop the stretching on the really, really sharply.
Yeah. Well, that's a problem with curve modifiers. What they do is they're they distort. They're deformers. Right? That's what a curve modifier is. It's a deformer. So it's designed to stretch things and distort things. So if you're going to you can do multiple objects, duplicate objects along the curve. The danger is that it's going to distort those objects. So how many points you put on here and where they're located makes a difference. So if I come over here and go to my edit mode, you're absolutely right. They're too close together. And it's causing, go to my control point, and I can help control. See? Now I can control that distortion. Just as you suggested. But it's all non-destructive. Nothing set in stone.
Nice.
Isn't that nice? Okay, so All right, I want to show you some quick texturing. We're 5 minutes till 4, which means I'm surprised that I even made it on time. I'm going to stop there at the chord. I wanted to show you that because the rest I think you can figure out. Well, actually, I'm going to tell you how you're going to figure it out. So say, for example, the end of this chord needs to become a single strand. It's no longer going to curl. It's going to become like just a single the basic curve coming all the way across and connecting to the top of your phone. I'll show you one slick little way to handle it. In fact, I'll show you another way. I'm going to turn off this. Let's see, it's a basic curve. I'm going to turn that off. Turn off the circle. Turn off the curve. I'm going to show you another way to do this. Say, for example, you don't want the curly cubes. You just want a kind of a single line. Well, this is where it gets beautiful. Command A, come back over here to the I'm in edit mode. I'm gonna go to tab menu, go to object mode. Now Shift A, mesh, not mesh, but curve. Oh, curves here. Bezier curve again. You can actually use your Bezier curve to become wires or pipes or whatever you want them to be. All right? So I'm going to take this end here. Let's go ahead and modify this. Take this end. I'm going to connect it to the base of the phone. So pull it on over like this. Get in close so I can see what I'm doing. We're going to say that's going to go to the base of the phone. I'm going to rotate it around like so and bring it down, and I got to bring it in. Okay, and I'm going to bring it in some more, bring it down a little bit. There you go. That's going into the piece. Say right about there. All right, now tab, edit menu, go get this piece, E, bring it up. Oh, come on, Steven. Do a stupid thing. Release. Okay. All right, now go to these handlebars here and rotate it up, get it going fluent. I wanted to come up and connect into the top of this. Okay. So E key, whoop, there we go. That looking good. I think I'll take I'll keep it like this. I'm going to go grab this handle, and I think I'm going to grab that bar and kind of straighten it out like that to make it less tension. Grab this handlebar here and pull the tension in. Well, we let it flatten out a little bit like so. I'm probably going to put another, split this edge here between these 2 points. Right click, divide. What is it? Subdivide. Subdivide. Boom. There we go. Now I've got an extra one there where if I grab that handlebar, I can pull that out a little bit, something like this, to kind of make it a little more irregular. All right, and I'm going to go finish this up. Go grab this here, pull it down, grab the handlebar, pull it toward this, grab the point, E, and there we go. Okay, I'm going to let that click and release, grab the handlebar, rotate it down like that, and pull it on down. Let me see where this is located in 3D space. Oh, pretty good. I was close. Alright, so I just got to come over here and just get that just right. Pull it on over, pull it on in. Okay, just move it a little bit more like so.
Beautiful.
Yep. Okay, so I might want to put one more in between the two. So grab those two, right click, subdivide. That allows me a little more room to play. All right, now here's where it's going to blow your mind. So you put all that work in getting that chord. Now in Lightwave, you do a rail extrude to get your pipes. Don't got to do that in Blender. all you do, I would go back to object mode, is select the curve, come over here in the bottom where when you have a 3D object, you have the triangle, the green triangle that represents your geometry, right? This is not geometry. This is just mathematical equations creating curves, and that's represented by a green line with 2 points and a curve in between. So if I select that and come down to here and go to geometry and come down to here to bevel and tell it, okay, what type of bevel? Bevel that puppy. And I can make it any size I want. So I'm gonna say that's too much of a bevel. So pull it back something like that. All right. Oh, I want to change the shape. Okay, no problem. Let's see. Go back to your curve. All right. So go to edit mode. Tab. Edit mode. Go back to here, and you can go play to your heart's content. Because I have to, smooth it out a little bit more to kind of make it look a little more convincing. So it's going to the top. So here, all you need to do now is go to tab mode, go back to your object here, right? And go to the object, go to tab, go to edit mode in the object. And let me go up here and get out of this X-ray mode. Here, I'll go to that face there, tab, pull it on out. Okay. E key for extrude. All right, make it look like it's connecting to it. And then Command B for bevel. Double click it, Command B for bevel. And then tab key object mode, go back to here, go to edit mode. Did I go back to edit mode in there? I don't think I did that. So go to object, Bezier curve. I'm there. Okay, so shift, object mode, target it, edit mode. Okay. Okay. Oh, this is weird. It's selecting. What's going on? What's going on here? Why are you not allowing me to... There we go. Okay. Okay, that's working. Okay, it's working just fine. Okay. Come back to this a little tight up in here, so... pull it on up. Pull it on over. Maybe take this and kind of curve it like so. And then just come down here and grab this guy. I think I'm going to want an additional point in between the two. Right click and subdivide. There we go. And that can grab that one. And just pull it on over. There we go. So it's more straight, coming out of there straight. And just come back around and just get it right. That's all, just get it right. There you go. And this is going to be great for, like, air hoses on the side of spacesuits and all that stuff. There you go. Our first Blender class. Blender 1.
How can you show the actual coiled cord superimposed on top of the curve?
Oh, just turn it on.
Because right now it's... Oh.
It's turned on. I just turned it off. So if I go to this one here, I have to... the shape of the circle is a little bit too big, right? So I can go modify the circle. So go over to my modifiers over here. I'm just go ahead and just cascade these up so you can see everything that I've done here. I got a screw modifier and the curve. I can go turn them both off, right? And then go find my my curve modifier right there. It's that circle, right? So make it smaller. So S, something like that, okay? I'm going to pull it back and turn them both on. See? Now it's smaller. But that's a smaller in terms of thickness. So if I want to control the width or the diameter of the coiling itself, that's under the screw modifier into here. Oh, that's iteration. Sorry. No, this is iteration. Iteration, angles. Should be. Oh, okay. What am I doing? Come on, you know how to do this, Stephen. Bring this here. Bring screw object. Oh, that's interesting. It's on the empty. Oh, that's what it is. Silly me. All right. The empty is the object that we're telling it to actually to screw around. So we go to the empty. Go find the empty, which should be right there. Let's see what happens. Hopefully this works. If I move it. There you go. It's moving in different directions. It's changing the shape. Let's see. Okay, that shouldn't do it. There we go. See? It's the empty that we told it to be the object to screw around. Mm-hmm. And it's two different. So we got the Z, not the Z, but the X and the Y. All right, to play with. Just play with that. You'll get the hang of it. Now, say for example, you want this to be this straight line that we have here. You want that to come out of this end. Right? In order for you to do it that way, you're going to have to freeze all of your modifiers for this one. So if I target this, the way you freeze your modifiers, and then once again, you have to be in object mode. Right over here where it says screw and then curve, you see a little drop menu. If I go to edit mode, so let me go to edit mode real quick so I make my point. Now we're in edit mode. If I drop it down, I can't apply, it's grayed out. If it's grayed out, it means you are in edit mode and not in object mode. So if I go back to tab key and go to object mode, now apply is there. Apply it. And then for the, what was that? Let me go back. That was my screw. Let me see something. Maybe I want to find out where the capping is. The capping may be under my curve. So go to here. No, it's not under curve. So I mean I have cap. Normals, capping. Oh, I don't see capping as an object here. It doesn't matter. I know how to do it manually. So go over here, apply it, and apply the curve. Actually, or do I need to do that? I may not need to apply the curve. So if I go, leave the curve alone. I should be able to do that. I've applied the screw, so the object's set in stone now. So the geometry is set in stone. Go to my edit menu, go to right there, go double click it. I want to get these edges here. So go to number 2 key on the keyboard. Let me go to my object mode, select this, edit mode. Interesting. Okay, maybe I'm going to have to set the curve in stone then. So let me go back in object mode and let's go apply everything. So now it's real geometry. All that should be real geometry. It should be no more modifiers applied. Edit menu, tab menu to go to edit mode. There it is. See? I got real geometry now. So,
Can I ask a question, Stephen?
yes.
If we had built a model like this for 3D printing, am I correct?
This
If
will
we
print.
need to apply this modifier
No.
to turn it to real
No.
geometry?
No, you do not.
Oh,
And I'll show you why in just a minute. I'm going to go to the
Okay.
edge. Let me finish this up. Let me go to edge mode, double click the edge there. F and close the face. And then from there, just E for extrude. All right. E for extrude a little bit. And then I'm going to rotate it like this. And then extrude and then take it wherever you want to go. There's faster and easier ways to do this, but eventually you're gonna take this and connect it to the top of this piece. And what I would do is actually design it so that this is going to modify with the curve, and then just bridge it together after the fact. We'll talk more about that next week. Okay, so your question is let me go to my go to my object mode, Shift A, mesh. Let's go over here to my cube, pull it on out of here to the side so I can see it. Okay, and I'm going to put some modifiers on this. If I can make it big like that. Okay. I'm going to add some modifiers. We're going to go here. I'm going to give it a bevel. Give it 4 segments. Command D, offset it. Shift, Command. Oh, it doesn't like that bevel. God damn it, it pisses me off. Okay. Anyways, here. Okay, there we go. So let's just take off the gosh darn bevel. It doesn't like the bevel. There. Grab that one. Just exit out, get rid of it. Select that. Command I. Okay, there's my live boolean. Okay. There's my live boolean. So this is not the real boolean shape. This is a modifier being applied to it. So if I come here and turn it off, you still have both shapes there. Your question is, what if I export this out as a... matter of fact, if I've done this already, if I boolean this already, let's see what happens if I now add a bevel. It works now, after the fact. So it was the position of my bevel. Bevel first screws it up. Bevel afterwards works. Then I come over here, and I'm getting what I want. Okay. Now I want to 3D print this. File menu, export, STL file. Well, what do you want to export? Well, let me do this. Let me do this. Select it first. That's what you want to export. Okay. File, export, STL, and pay attention to your menu. Include what? Only the selection. And do what to the selection? Apply the modifiers. Yeah. So you don't have to you don't have to apply your modifiers. Just leave them alone. Yeah. See,
that
that
answers my question.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so that's how powerful Blender is. It's amazing. And I haven't shown you anything yet. Honestly, I haven't. So I'm going to show you more next week in the Blender 2 class. So make sure you guys get registered for that. So I'll send you all the links tonight. but I'll send you the recording as well. Okay.
Just a quick question. I did not have the screw modifier as part of my Blender interface, so I'm wondering
It's
how
in there.
I can go about rectifying that.
It is in there. That's odd. Let me see. Share your screen. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen.
Sure, 1 second.
It could be. I don't. No, I've never activated the screw modifier in the add-ons. It was never really an add-on. It's part of the system. Okay.
So we'll select my circle there, and I'll have to get this out of the way. The
Are you in?
menu for.
Are you in object
There we go.
mode?
Get this out of the way. I am currently in. I am for sure now. So we'll go over here to modifiers. Add modifier. So where modifier? Add modifier. Oh, crap! I must have been in.
Okay. Any questions? Because I gave you a lot today. I gave you a lot. So you got a week to practice, and I'll see everybody next Sunday. And you're going to have more people in the class because I have people signed up for that class that wasn't in this one. So,
All right. Well,
Awesome.
thank you.
you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
All right. You're welcome.
Yeah, it was totally worth it. Thank you.
All right. So, and if anybody has any questions, feel free to give me a call. Which I know I'm going to be hearing from Tom.
Well, first I'll watch the video again,
Yeah.
see if that answers a couple of gaps I have.
Oh, yeah.
Then I'll call you.
Okay. All right.
I'm
So,
going to take off. It was nice to meet all of you. Hope to see you again.
all right. Great. And I'll see everybody next Sunday.
Yeah, talk to you in 5 minutes, Stephen.
Okay. No worries. I'm here. I'm not going
Bye,
anywhere.
Tom.
Right?
All right, cool. How do you feel? How do you feel, Tyler?
I've got a lot of practice to do with this, so I'm going to have to take the recording, pause, rewind,
Yep.
possibly tech a few questions. But
Okay.
no, I've got about 2/3 of the phone that you modeled there, maybe a little bit more. So
Okay.
I'm pretty happy with it.
And it'll be interesting is that it's the more you practice with it, you'll start to pick it up faster. It's kind of like, oh, that's what we're doing, you know. And then you're gonna feel like there's nothing you can't do. And I haven't even started talking about animation yet. I mean, that's really amazing in Blender.
All right, well, looking forward to it.
Okay, see everybody next Sunday.
Mhm.
All right, thanks, Tom, and thank you, Jen.
Yeah, thank you very much for hosting this class.
Yeah, you're welcome. I know Dave is nowhere to be found.
He doesn't have a proper setup, so
All right.
he missed out. That's
He
on
can-
him.
He can order a cam and a microphone from Amazon.
He could. We'll see.
Okay. Doesn't cost much. He's making money.
Cool.
All right, I'll be in contact. Thanks. Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you again.
Bye.
Bye.
Mm.